Hey guys, so Danny is apparently peeing. So good for him, I guess. Always good to have a properly functioning urinary tract, I suppose. And so hope everybody's doing well today as we get things started. And let's see. Anything exciting going on in the world? Well, of course, there's the big Deadpool and Wolverine trailer that dropped, and you know, if Danny were here, we could talk about that. Uh, Justin's here. Says good evening. How you doing, Justin? Mike Richards, best thing to come out of Columbus, Ohio, is here. Uh, and you know.
Hello there.
So he lives in 47 Yorktown. Good to see you, buddy. As always, from Canada. So yeah,
Yeah.
was just talking about the Deadpool and Wolverine trailer.
Yeah, we recorded something and I wanted to get that from you last night. I need to get that video from you so I can chop it out. We can
Yeah,
put up our
I haven't downloaded it yet. I'll
Oh,
do that
okay.
because when we finished, it was 5 in the
It
morning.
was I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, no. And where is it?
What you looking
Layers.
for, man?
I'm looking.
What's up, everybody in the chat while he's doing that? Got what? Justin T, Mike Richards, 47 Yorktown, Stanley. What's up, fellas?
Oh,
I still got to pull up my my channel, but been busy with the work, which is awesome. So I'll still do the tweet here in a second. Man, you really don't check Twitter or get notifications. Like we had a lot of activity, but you didn't participate in any of it because you know, and you were tagged in
well,
all of it.
first of all, there's no such thing as Twitter. I don't know what you're talking about.
X, whatever, X.
All right. So, second of all, every time I go there, I'm like so disappointed by the juvenile and asinine behavior of most people on there. So, why would I want to hang out there?
I don't know. Oh, we're not going to do this now, are we? We should just dive into Star Trek. You
Well,
want to?
it's up to you. We can.
Well, I figure I thought it'd be good to release a
I was
video.
just getting that ready because I didn't know how long you were going to take to clear your urinary path.
Hey, no, I was trying to be quick. I squeezed in another email for the boss. I totally
You
spaced
probably
on the
shouldn't say
thumbnail.
squeeze right when
Got
I'm
that?
talking about your peeing.
Oh, well, fair enough. Hey, we got Mom in the chat. Mercer Creates in the chat. What's up, fellas? Mom.
And Mercer with a $1 donation.
Super chat.
Is my favorite scene in this movie is the phaser fight when they beam over to the Narada. Excellent sound design. Also, the gun barrel flip stun kill.
Is he being facetious because of what you pointed out to me yesterday about the gun scenes changing?
I'm sure Mercer's being serious because he hasn't
Oh.
seen, because I haven't even downloaded our watch along yet.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But one thing, Mercer, that I pointed out was that how un-Star Trek that fight. I'm not saying the fight itself is bad, but it's extremely un-Star Trek because notice they have their phasers set to kill.
Yeah.
Every Romulan they shoot, except for the one that Spock mind melds with, they flat out murder. And so, and I get it that Nero is a threat to the Federation, blah blah blah, but at the same time, Kirk, even like in Errand of Mercy, when they're going up against the Klingon invasion of the Federation, Kirk tells Spock that they're going to try to go easy, but they'll kill if necessary. They always use stun whenever possible. But this Kirk, no, let's just straight up kill everybody, and we'll let God sort them out. You know that's I'm not a big fan of that kind of mentality. That and there is a huge glitch in the Matrix where when at one point Kirk is carrying a Romulan disruptor, then the next shot he's carrying a Federation phaser, then his phaser is knocked away and he picks up a Romulan disruptor and leaves. So that's just a nice little oopsie daisy. I will say this. So to start off the movie, we have the single best Star Trek logo in the history of Star Trek. And Mercer with another $1.
Have a super chat.
I'm just talking from a technical level, but I agree with you. I paid off my car today, and I watched The Wrath of Khan. Well, that's an interesting combination of activities. I'm glad that you paid off your car and Wrath of Khan.
And it's always good to watch Wrath of Khan. I mean,
watching Wrath of Khan every now and then is always a good thing. So I'm glad you paid off your car because that means you can super chat more.
That's right.
So stop with the $1 and let's start amping it up here.
Right. So I got it out. If you want to share it, maybe get a few more people to join us live in the chat.
Now you see, you're supposed to do this like before we actually start.
Yeah, I know you can multitask. It's not going to kill you. Let's see. Oh, and mom's multitasking. Look, she says she's trying to eat supper in the chat.
Well, your mom is probably watching 17 streams right now.
This is true. We got Alex Moore joining us in the chat. Hey, Alex, thanks for joining us. Oh, and of course we've got the vivacious, voluptuous. Oh my God, that's a new thumbnail. That's awesome. Ariel Ballet in the house.
Wow, that thumbnail is almost enough to get someone banned from YouTube.
Jesus, yeah, that's intense. My God. Anyway, so hey guys, yes. Let's see. Stanley's got a question here. How does this Enterprise bridge compare with Strange New Worlds? Oh my God, dude!
Comparison.
This is a terrible. Strange New Worlds is way. Actually, this might surprise some of you, or maybe not. I effing hate this movie. I hadn't watched it in over a decade, and he was kind of talking it up a little bit. And if you check out our watch along on supportsalty.com after he uploads it, I even make a comment in the first 5 minutes, or maybe even 2 minutes, giggling, maybe after all this time I'm being sober, I might like the movie. No, it's terrible, still bad. Not Star Trek. It's not Star Trek. So,
but the funny
there's my hot take, by the way. Not that you asked for it, but there's my hot take.
Well, the funny thing about it is, we'll agree that it's definitely, J.J. Abrams was definitely trying to Star Wars up Star Trek.
Oh yeah,
which he made no, and the funny thing is, nobody should be shocked by that because J.J. said he was going to do that ahead of time.
Yeah,
but and some of the things that they did in this movie, I think, were pretty darn good.
And you point those, and fairly, they are pointed out, and I actually agree with most of your points, especially the ones that have to do with the special effects and the types of shots and basically anything that has to do with nothing that respects what Star Trek is. I agreed with you.
Well, I pointed out, for example, this is a small thing, but I do like it. On the Vulcans, the ears look more organic.
You pointed that out, with the translucent tips and look more
they look like ears. They don't look like a makeup prop. I like that. While I don't like the design of the Enterprise, obviously the visual effects are a notch above any other Star Trek film. And this, there's a lot of technical stuff to be praised. The music is really good. Like this opening theme that they play, very brief but really effective. There's a lot that you could argue to like about this movie. The problem is the story is just absolute hot garbage. Things like the Kirk basically not even graduating Starfleet Academy, but by the end of the movie is a captain.
Yeah, I mean that's some bullshit. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of things. I mean, I'm sure we'll go through. We'll skip over some because we're not watching the movie. But there was if you guys really want a thorough nitpicking, ass chewing of this movie, you got to watch the watch along whenever he puts that on supportsalty.com, because we're not going to be able to hit all those same. I know we'll talk about some of the stuff we talked about, but there's no way we can talk about it all, I don't think.
Right.
But,
and by the way, I do want to address something that Mercer said the Vulcan should have a red sky, not a blue one. Are you sure about that? I mean,
I don't even give a shit about stuff like that. But
I don't know, but I mean, like, the physics, I don't think are on your side here, because the reason the sky is blue is because of the way that light refracts through our atmosphere.
Dude.
So assuming the Vulcan has a similar atmosphere as Earth, their sky would be blue as well.
So look at this here by Mike Richards.
Yeah.
Remember that one part where it, like, the lens flare literally like blinded me for, like, it filled up the whole screen, and it's,
J.J. Abrams loves his lens flares. That's definitely true.
Ariel, can you read that, or do I need to read it to you?
Yeah.
So I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. 51 days sober today. New job's going great. Closed a couple deals. So life is good right now. How about you, Salty? She's asking how you're doing.
Tired.
It's my fault. Yes, it is totally. I had a really busy day yesterday, so we ended up starting our watch along last night at 2 a.m. his time. So yeah, I'm so sorry about that. So
yeah,
Salty's a real trooper for you guys today. He's a salty trooper today.
No, I'm just salty. And yes, the sky was red in the original series, but at the same time, that's just because the soundstage had red paper on the back. It's. And I would say this was, for example, if you've ever been in the desert, if there's a sandstorm off in the distance, the sky would appear red. Mm-hmm. Does that mean the sky is red here on Earth? No. But if you're, in Dubai at the right time, the sky, you'd think the sky was red. So that could have just been weather. But I ain't
who was debating this again? Who was this that brought this up?
Mercer brought it up.
Of course it was Mercer.
Okay. Yeah. And Alex Moore mentioned that it was red on Enterprise.
Name's Alex. Okay.
Yeah. Because
do we really care? Do we really care?
No,
it's kind of reddish in Voyage Home. So, like, who gives a shit? Like, whatever. I mean, maybe they were overcast. I don't care. Like that. I care. Like, that is such the least of this movie's fucking problems. Like, I'm sorry. Gosh, I'm trying to. You laughed. Oh, that reminded me yesterday when we were watching it. And I said, "Gosh darn it!" And you started laughing at me. But I was like,
because you said,
I'm trying not to say GD, I'm not trying to take the Lord's name in vain in front of my mom. I'm really trying to.
I appreciate you not saying GD, but at the same time, but gosh darn it just doesn't feel like something you would say.
I know. I got to come up with something else.
I'm sorry. It just that sounds weird coming out of your mouth.
Yeah.
All right. Now prior to the Star Trek logo that I love so much, we have the destruction of the Kelvin and the birth of James T. Kirk and the death of George Kirk because of this, because of the autopilot supposedly not working, even though it works. And when I say that, this is like one of my first big gripes of the movie, is that the reason that George Kirk dies in the opening scenes is because the autopilot system is damaged in the initial attack by Nero. So someone's got to pilot the ship into the collision course. But once he sets the course and the ship is on its way, we see on the screen he's got a full minute before the Kelvin crashes into
okay,
the Narada.
Hold up.
yeah.
It was 57 seconds. Don't. There's no need to exaggerate.
Okay, you're right. You're right. He had a full 57 seconds.
Thank you.
To
Details matter. Details matter.
To get to an escape pod or a shuttle or a transporter and get off the ship. And I'm sorry, but he could have done that. But instead, he sits back in the captain's chair and based on what...
Dagnammit! How does that? Is that better? That's what Ariel suggests. Dagnammit!
Now you sound like Yosemite Sam.
No, okay. Well, keep them coming, guys. Sorry, anyway. Yeah.
So I'm not a fan of that. Of the fact that it's
Captain Jollar in the house.
like,
welcome
honestly,
to the show.
what they should have done is had it so that George was at the helm the entire time, doing course corrections and stuff like that. Because to have him sit back in the captain's chair and just wait for the collision, it's like, what's the and that whole time that he's talking to his wife about little Jimmy. And naming the baby.
This is Chris Hemsworth's first role, and he's so pretty. He couldn't multitask. He couldn't do that.
Well, I know he's just a dumb Aussie, but
he could hardly hold a fucking American accent for the 3 minutes he's in the movie. I pointed that out so many times, and I like Chris Hemsworth, but there's a reason he doesn't do an American accent often. I still haven't got to see the Red Dawn movie we talked about last night to see how it is in that movie, but
I don't remember.
It's not good, and you hear his Aussie accent quite a bit when he's trying to be played American. But anyway, there's no way he could have even handled that at all while controlling stuff.
Well, I understand that, but maybe he should have
He's too pretty. He's too pretty. They should have cast someone else.
He used his Aussie accent then. That's
so Jim Kirk's dad's an Australian always. So I guess it would work. It's how you're raised, not who you're.
Although it does kind of make sense. So now we know the reason that Kirk is so awesome is he is literally the son of a god.
He's the son of Thor. Yes, there we go.
So that's starting to make a lot of sense.
Oh, so Ariel, you've seen it. You just watched it yesterday. How does he do? I'm curious. Does he do an American accent in that movie? Which I assume he does. And if so, does he actually do a good job and pull it out through the whole movie? Because this 3 minutes he did was.
I don't even remember who he was. I think he was the older brother, wasn't he?
I haven't seen it at all. I don't know. I just know of its existence. So I can't. But Ariel, let us know in the chat. Thanks for.
All right. So there's little baby Jimmy. And, he's like, oh, yeah, I think I'll just sit here and talk to you rather than try to save my butt.
I mean, it is a glaring, I don't even know what the word is. It's not omission, but it's
a plot hole.
It's huge. Yeah.
It's a big gaping plot hole.
Yeah.
And so then...
Just the first of a myriad of problems with this movie.
And there's the bug-eyed nurse.
Hey, Lancer. Welcome to the party, pal. We got Sentai Ranger Donnie in the house. Hello. I'm sorry to hear that your Power Rangers comic is ending. What are you going to sign at all the conventions now? Or get signed at all the conventions now, anyway.
So then we are greeted by Baby Kirk. Now, this is a scene that a lot of people hated.
And we're not showing these live, but if you guys want to see Michael and I looking adorable at probably the age of roughly
younger than this
9.
kid,
it's good times we're had.
Yeah, we both had similar hair except a little darker. Yours was closer to his hair than mine, but yeah. So
it was funny how we both kind of. There's an argument can be made. We both kind of look like this kid when we were his age, which is weird,
Right.
So if you're at all interested, go to supportsalty.com and he'll have it uploaded soon.
But of the two of us, I'm the one with the actual bona fide, certifiable nerd picture.
It is. No, he's holding a TIE fighter.
Yeah, TIE fighter in that picture. So, yeah. So
he's got the classic 70s shirt with the rainbow stripes or whatever.
Yeah.
Dark colored. Well, not rainbow, but multicolored stripes,
So I did not hate this scene. The only thing I didn't like was that they retconned Kirk's older brother, and they don't even they technically don't do that. They just change.
See, I didn't even, if you hadn't said that anything, because I just thought it was like maybe some school friend that he was just bragging in front of,
Right,
you know,
and that's what it seems like in the movie, because he
Yeah.
yells, "Hey, Johnny," as he drives past him.
Johnny and Jimmy, couple of terrorists.
Yeah, but in the original script, that was supposed to be George, and Kirk's older brother. And unfortunately, they just changed it to Johnny for some reason, and I don't even understand why. I think it would have been a nice little Easter egg if he had said, "Hey, George."
I 100% agree with you. You did a wonderful job, as usual, of making the movie a lot better than it was, because we care more about Star Trek than the people who made this damn movie did. But Captain Jolly's got a good question for us. Did either of us drive a car off a cliff and avoid death like Kid Kirk here did? Now, have you ever done anything crazy like that?
No.
No. Now, I did run my car into a pole doing 80 miles an hour, which put my dumb ass in a coma, but I was drunk driving at the time, so I don't recommend it, kids.
Yeah, and you weren't quite as young as baby Kirk.
No, yeah, I wasn't.
So then we have, is this an android police officer? Not RoboCop.
Yeah, that's what I was asking. Is this an android? Is this supposed to be a human? If he's a human and he's on Earth, why is he wearing the mask? There's so many questions here.
And why does he go, "Citizen, what is your name?" And
whoa. We got a little minor celebrity in the house. What's up, Joe? What's up, Joe's Atmosphere? Thanks for joining.
Joe's
he is the
celebrity.
code. I'm just trying to being sarcastic. Just
okay. Well, it's like, we have someone with some notoriety. We should, talk to him.
No. I think his channel's worse than ours. Don't worry about it. I was just trying to be. Okay. And I just said that out loud. Damn it! It was jokes. These are jokes, Joe. These are just jokes. Just kidding.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah. I mean, he did tell me beforehand that your channel sucks. But
that's just totally not true.
No. It's true. It's absolutely true.
You can give me some real life. You can give me some real life heat with this ninja, man. Don't do that stuff.
Do you know him in real life?
No, I mean, no.
Well, I mean, because you were saying how you'd kick his ass anytime.
Oh, you're so funny. Okay, he's just making it.
He did say that, Joe. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we love you too. Back to this. What this looks like one of those when you're painting a house. When you're painting a house,
dick being microscopic or something. I don't know. He's being really
you and the dick jokes, man. Anyway, back to this weirdo. You get one. It doesn't look like one of those painter's masks. You know what I mean?
It kind of does, but it actually looks very Star Warsy at this age.
Yeah, that too.
It almost looks like General Grievous.
Grievous. Ooh, I was just thinking that. Oh wow, that's funny. Okay.
But you look at this guy. He starts every sentence with "citizen."
Citizen. That's why I was like, is he an android? I mean,
and it's like, so it's kind of down to two possibilities. Either he's an android or they live in an empire.
Yeah, and like if that's how Starfleet's running Earth, man. I said it all along. Star Trek is a communist, socialist society.
You disappear on me.
Yeah. I don't want to get the channel in trouble, and I've been busy. I haven't been able to step out, but I'm here. We're talking. If other people way more popular than me can get away with this, I'm sure I can too. As long as I just don't stop talking, So there's that. Android or robot, Ariel says, yeah, totally.
Yeah. And so, by the way, yes,
hey, Joe,
Mercer, I agree.
Don't be drinking. Back off my Kool-Aid, bro. That's my Kool-Aid. Don't be drinking my Kool-Aid. I'm just kidding.
And Mercer, I do agree that Jellicoe is right. Yeah,
That what? You got to put the comment up.
Well, I can't because I'm controlling the video.
Okay, that comment right there.
Yeah, Jellicoe was right. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, completely unrelated to this movie, but yes, Jellicoe was right.
So I did figure something out. So as long as I just do this, you don't technically, you can't get in trouble because technically you can't. You don't really.
Yes,
know,
but it
ruins
the ambiance of the channel.
The ambiance. Oh, you poor fella, you. I'm sorry.
I'm trying to be professional here.
What did you say at our watch. So we're going to be dropping this video. If I got to pry it out of his cold, dead hands, of us reacting to the Deadpool trailer, that I think we should both put out as like a video content on our, and do it that way. So, you know, because it was fun. That was a good 20 minutes. I've seen a bunch of people put theirs up that weren't even half as entertaining as ours. You know.
Yeah, but we've come to the conclusion that Danny is Deadpool and I am Wolverine.
I'm the Deadpool to his Wolverine, basically. Yeah.
All right, so then here we have the gravity and physics defying leap from someone who is clearly not that kid. Look how tall that person is.
I mean, a stuntman, clearly.
Yeah, you know? But I mean, I think it's just kind of funny because it's like not even close.
And in real life, like this kid is dead. This kid is dead. Like you just, there's no way, you know.
Right.
And he gets up, just dusts himself off. I mean, at the very least, he would have bloodied his palms up. I mean, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, and so then Han Solo gets off the speeder bike and says, "Citizen, what is your name?
What is your name?"
And by the way, what's even the use of his badge number over his eye when it's partially obscured by the visor?
Now, this has got to be a robot, right? What do you guys think in the chat? We should put up a poll. How do I do that? We should put up a poll. Is it an android or a robot? Not even give human as an option. Or I guess we could. That'd be fair.
What is your name?
But you see, the thing is, like, when you play that, did you see if you look carefully.
Like his jaw's moving? You know?
So it's like there's a person under there, but then that is like the dumbest helmet ever devised. Like, what's the red eye for?
Yeah, it's weird.
You know? And I mean... And if you need all that to breathe properly in the future, why isn't Kirk dead?
I don't know. Hey, we've got Cerstus here. When did he sneak in? Welcome to the chat, sir.
So, yeah. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense.
And I agreed with you. You said, and I 100% agree with you, this scene should have come before the scene we just saw to make it seem more chronologically in order. Because this...
Yeah, because here
point that out.
They're kind of establishing that Spock and Kirk are very close to the same age. In fact, this Spock seems a little younger than Kirk. And that's a major problem later on in this movie, and not even a lot later on, just in a few scenes, because by the time Kirk is in the academy...
Oh, Cerstus has an option I didn't even consider. Maybe he's an off-worlder.
Oh, so he needs that to breathe our atmosphere.
Okay. Oh, that's the smartest excuse I've heard yet. Right on.
Except that at this point in Starfleet history, like Earth police would just be people from Earth.
Or Darth Maul's got another cool suggestion here.
Yeah, it's a Star Wars droid violating my Star Trek. That's what I tend to think.
I'm so sorry, Kingdom of Vinland. That's sad. That's not good. But that means you probably love this movie.
Well, the funny thing is
Am I right? People who don't know fuck all about Star Trek, but seen this movie, love this fucking movie. I hate it. It's like the Deftones only being known for Change in the House of Flies. Give me a break, man. It's not even in their top 10. Sorry.
I don't know anything about that, but what I was...
Hey, those who know. Those who don't bother looking it up. It's not a big deal.
You need to stop turning off your camera. Just stop doing what you're doing.
I'm trying to not violate terms of service for you.
Right. So how about you just don't do things that violate terms of service
all right,
while we're streaming?
All right.
But dude, come on.
Anyway.
So, but this Spock appears to be the same age or even younger than Kirk. However, when Kirk is in the academy, 3 years after we're first introduced to adult Kirk, Spock has not only already been in Starfleet, he's gained the rank of commander and is one of their most distinguished graduates.
Well, talk about that when we get to it. I mean, let's talk about...
but I'm just saying that. But this is where we establish that they're about the same age.
which is not it's
Yeah.
canon breaking. That's why your multiple timelines thing is the only thing that can
Yeah.
rationalize any of this. If you want to even try to make sense of it.
Yeah. And then we're introduced to Spock's old man here, good old Sarek. And again, this guy, what's his name again? The actor?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't know his name.
Ben Cross.
That's Ben Cross? Oh,
Yeah. Ben Cross kills it as Sarek, in my opinion. He is one of the best pieces of casting that they did for this film. He's obviously not doing a Mark Leonard impersonation, but
he's just doing his own take on it, but he's got that.
But he's got a level of gravitas that, he feels like a wise Vulcan who could be an ambassador.
Yeah. So
and I like the way he talks to Spock here about talking about the benefits of logic. And he just, I think, absolutely nails it. And like when he said, marry your mother was logical,
Yeah, I don't know.
And so I liked him. You didn't like him? Oops.
No, he was fine. I just there's so much about this movie that like his wife is the man is totally miscast, but we can talk about that later. She's just
Well, Winona Ryder.
Yeah,
I sort of know what your problem is. She stole every scene she was in.
Ha ha ha! The joke was funnier yesterday.
It's true though. Speaking of stealing scenes, here's Winona, and you say man, this stupid mouse.
No, they should have just cast instead of aging her up. They should have just
They
cast
didn't age her up. That's what Winona Ryder looks like.
No, they aged her face up because when they showed her earlier, when she was younger.
What do you mean? This is her first scene in the movie.
They show her with kid Spock. I thought no.
No.
They don't? I don't know. See, that's the thing. She just looks so young to me. She looks. That's not what she really looks like right now. I'm telling you, they added that stuff to the cheek right there.
I think you're full of crap.
No, it's just. I'm telling you, that is not what she looks like. I'll look it up right now. And this is years and years and years ago. She looks better now in the Beetlejuice trailer than she does in this shot. So they definitely aged her up.
What are you talking about? I mean,
they should have just cast an older.
Honestly, now it looks like she's probably had some work done.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but my thing is, they should have. Okay, let's say take the appearance out of it. She just wasn't right for the part, in my opinion. That's just like my opinion. But I do remember when I remember my feeling out of the theater, which I'm pretty sure is the last time I watched this movie before last night. Just that being a sticking point for me, that she just was terribly miscast as Spock's mom.
I honestly didn't care because her part was so insignificant.
That's the thing, Alex Moore. He didn't have a hot mom. Spock's mom looked like the Murder, She Wrote lady. You know what I mean? They didn't look like Winona Ryder.
I don't think Spock's mom looked that bad in the original.
Angela Lansbury was a beautiful woman.
Oh, that's right. I forgot you loved banging 70-year-olds. So
well, first of all, back when Murder, She Wrote came out, she wasn't that old. She
doesn't look like it.
Okay.
Which is why you would want to bang her.
No. I don't know. What do you guys think in the chat? She was miscast, right? Somebody I don't know. We'll let the chat settle that argument. We can.
I would agree that Spock's mother in the original series felt more elegant. We'll say.
She's got better jokes than you. Because she's gonna die in the movie really early on.
Darth Maul, Murder She Bangs.
Yeah, funny. Keep it up.
A new show starring Danny.
Danny the Dork Knight.
Oh, Danny is a huge Golden Girls fan.
Oh God,
he's had so many fantasies about Betty White.
You're so funny. Oh my God.
Okay, tell me you wouldn't have banged 90-year-old Betty White.
No, but I'd bang dead Betty White. Too dark? Come on, really? That's the line.
Wow,
the line.
Really?
Yeah, okay.
This is a scene I actually really liked, where and we talked about this a little bit when we watched it. Is that at this point, while the Kelvin incident obviously changed Kirk's entire life, Spock's life probably not so much impacted.
Probably. very minimal. I understand the ripple effect of time travel changing stuff, but I think it would have had a very minimal impact.
Right. It might have changed things after Spock got to Starfleet. Because
see, I was thinking a ripple effect might have affected his dad in certain situations mildly, slightly differently that would have had so instead of Spock getting in a fight on a Tuesday, he got in a fight on a Wednesday type of thing. Just insignificant changes.
But I think that here we get a glimpse of in the original series when Amanda talked about how Spock and Sarek didn't talk for years and years because of Spock's choice to join Starfleet. Here we kind of see why Spock chose to join Starfleet.
Yeah, and I do like the little sass, the FU here at the end of the scene.
And the funny thing is, it's very consistent with Spock from TOS that making a "Yo Mama" comment, which is what the head of the Science Council does.
Come on,
here.
man, retweet this. Let's get some people.
I did.
Join. Okay, all right.
And it's called repost. It's not called retweet because there's no such thing as Twitter. Get over it.
My bad. You're right. I'm sorry. X. You X'd it. See, it doesn't sound the same. It just doesn't have a nice ring to it.
Anyway, the chairman of the Science Academy here, makes a snide comment about his mom, and that's what sets Spock off. And he says, "F you guys."
Yeah. So, to what disadvantage do you speak of?
Right, your human mother, and
his total complexion changes. He's just
right. And if you look at, the first time we see Amanda was, of course, in Journey to Babel. And Sarek is dying. Amanda's begging Spock to help. And Spock says, I can't do that. She slaps him across the face and leaves. And Spock, without spores, without alien influence, shows genuine emotion about the fact that he just hurt his mom's feelings.
So you seen what Ariel's been saying in the chat, and Planet X says it's a good catch. They claim, I think he's just got resting happy face as opposed to resting bitch face. I don't really think that's a smile. His mouth is closed.
We talked about
the guy by Spock's. No, the guy by the Vulcan by Spock's head right there. You're not reading the chat. They think he's smiling.
No, I think he's just smug. He's just a Vulcan.
Yeah, he's just got resting happy face. Hey, and Planet X, thanks for joining Criticalist, buddy. I
thanks, Planet X. I saw that.
Yeah.
So, here's your live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. And he says it like he's basically saying, "Fuck you," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
then we cut to the bar scene, the cantina bar scene.
The cantina scene.
Yeah. Where the menu includes Budweiser classics.
Product, Star Trek's never had product placement. Leave it to J.J. Abrams to figure out a way to tie something.
No, we got plenty of it in Picard. Heck, we get Eagle Moss
up to this point. I was saying up to this point.
And so after Kirk gets his butt kicked,
no, it was Jameson in Picard. Remember, you flipped out about the Jameson product placement. Remember?
Well, that too, but we got Eagle Moss, we got several kinds of booze, we got,
Hey, check it out, Planet. He likes. See, I wish I could have. I've been so busy, I haven't got to hit up Blaine. I wanted to have Blaine on for this show, and it would have been perfect because he would have seen hey, we got him one subscriber. We got him one.
Right. So this
Janine
is
from
this
Ghostbusters. We got one.
This is a picture of Danny from 52 days ago.
Touche.
So, hey, tell me I'm lying.
I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Let's carry on. Yeah. And Alex Moore, yes, Picard did have quite a bit of product placement. It was shameless, but I still liked season 3. Still liked it.
But all the product placement was in season 3.
I know, but that's why I said, but I still like it. I can acknowledge something like that. And what's this? The digital archive of RGV history says Kirk drinks a Michelob. Yes,
true.
He does. That is
true.
You got me there. So okay. All right. Well, they go back in time, though. It's the 20th century. You know what I mean? So I don't know. It felt out of place to me in
And
this
with Kirk's
era.
reaction to drinking a Michelob, was that really a ringing product endorsement?
I know, right? I remember we talked about that. They probably
He was
had to
like,
pay.
"What the hell is this?"
Yeah, they probably got sued by Michelob and had to pay them instead of the opposite of where they got paid to. Anyway.
So
Yeah.
anyway, so after we see Danny,
Oh, Stanley's got jokes piggybacking off of yours. Thanks, Stan. Yeah, if I'm gonna fall off the wagon, might as well jump.
right,
Go ahead and jump.
he runs into Captain Christopher Pike, who, look, this is my second favorite Pike. Now, granted, there's only 4 actors.
Yeah, no, we were talking about that. Yeah, I up until Anson Mount, I really was like, damn, I really like this guy's Pike.
Right. I do like it. And the thing is that Anson Mount and this guy are 2 totally different characters.
Yes.
But I think Anson Mount's Pike is actually closer to Jeffrey Hunter's Pike than this guy. And what is this actor's name again? Oh gosh, he was in
iRobot. Green. Bruce Greenwood.
Bruce Greenwood, yeah. So Bruce Greenwood definitely brings it, like he feels like a captain and everything. But he's more confident than I think he should be.
This does have a couple moments. There's I like this moment. And what was the one that made? Oh, we skipped over it already. Good. There was a scene that got me, guys. I'm surprised you didn't want to make a bit out of that, for crying out loud. When remember what was it? When Kirk's dad died, right? Right?
You teared up a bit.
I did, and I actually would have cried, but I got lucky. He paused it. But he didn't know I was choking up when he paused it, so that gave me a breather. And then when the scene ended, I was like, "Oh!" My eyes were wet, but a tear did not break from the.
And by the way, coolest salt shaker ever.
I have a pizza cutter like that.
Yeah, but it's not a salt shaker.
Yeah,
that uses the phaser banks to pour salt. Come on.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
Yeah. And just happens to be the same type of ship as the Kelvin, except that the top part's broken.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Broke your little ships.
Yeah. So then Kirk rides his motorcycle out and looks at the Enterprise under construction and walks up to some random guy and just gives him his motorcycle, which makes no sense. And by the way, here's a question. Look, this is why Hollywood movies cost too dang much. Give me a reason why Kirk's motorcycle tires have no spokes. Aside
so it just looks more future-y, I don't
know.
But
that makes no sense. Why not have him be on a hover bike then?
Yeah, man. There's a lot of this, but whatever.
Oh, that's funny. Mercer's asking about the spokes now. Yes, but that makes no sense. I mean, sure, you could argue it's some kind of magnetic lift system or whatever. But we saw earlier in the film that when Kirk was, a kid at least 10 years before this, cops were riding around on flying motorcycles.
Captain Jolly, we had an issue with that too. Trust me. We talk about that in Watch Along, supportsalty.com.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
And I'm now. This brings up something like, well, we'll get to it, but Kirk sees. He's literally underneath, like you can see behind him. He's under the saucer section of the Enterprise as it's being built. And then later in this same movie, he sees the Enterprise and he's like, wow.
Oh, it's because he was blind in one eye. So would you call it like
it was
goggles or whatever?
Yeah, he had beer goggles when he first saw the ship. So he gives this loser his motorcycle. And he's just like, oh, cool.
No, he probably came in. He knew he was going to give the bike away. He's like, which one of these losers needs this the most to get pussy? And he saw this guy. He's like, it makes perfect sense.
I don't think the bike is enough to help this guy.
Because it's probably true, but remember, even though it's not how Captain Kirk was, this Captain Kirk that's how he would think. You know, he's a hornball.
Yeah, I don't like that about this Kirk.
I don't either. I like when you told me about that scene that got cut. That's like stupid. It's like, what was it, 2 seconds? They shaved off 2 seconds to not show us
and
that?
I forgot. I was going to say earlier. So first of all, Thomas, I'm not ignoring you, and I don't know if there's a deleted scene with George Kirk. I think you might be right. I think there was like some deleted dialogue about George. Like,
what are you responding to? I don't see anything from Thomas.
It was a few minutes ago, and we got sidetracked. And Thomas always says I ignore him, so I didn't want him to think I was purposely ignoring him.
Well, I'm not purposely ignoring him, but I just honestly don't see him.
You just ignored him.
I'm scrolling through the comments in the chat, and I don't see him at all. Honestly.
Well, because you're ignoring him.
I guess I must be. It must be a thing. I don't know. Wow.
Because you're just a jerk.
I honestly, I'm looking. I don't. Yeah, there's nothing there. I don't know. Like, that's weird. I don't see any. Is he Skyping you and you just don't realize it or something? I don't know.
No, it was in the chat.
Yeah, maybe I'm going crazy. Of course you do, Mother. Of course you do. You're worse than Kevin Smith. You like everything. You've been giving me some terrible movie recommendations lately.
Although now going back, I don't see it. Where the heck is it?
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Did he delete his own comments? I don't know.
I have no. Yeah. Anyway,
Thomas, what's going on, buddy? If you hear me, now I got to look on the.
Yeah, no, actually, Mercer, we both agree that we both like Carl Urban. However, we disagree on this particular scene. Salty doesn't like how he gets his name, and I thought I did actually. I did like it. That was one of the View things I liked. I thought it was, it explained a lot about his cantankerous nature. You know what I mean?
Except that it didn't make sense because everybody knew back in the 60s.
Well, yeah, but that's back in the 60s. He was
called Bones because he was a sawbones.
Yeah, but okay. That's the least of this movie's problems. The ship designs, the bridge, just the way they do Kirk, the way they do Spock, like in Zachary Quinto's chipmunk voice. There's so much wrong with this movie. This is
I agree with Stanley. It's worse than Han Solo.
I actually liked Han Solo.
So you like how Solo got his name?
No, no, I hated that part.
That's what we're talking about. Bones gets his name here. Solo got his name in Han Solo.
Yeah, this isn't worse than Han Solo, Stanley. You're out of your mind. Come on, no.
All I got left is my bones. Who would say that?
No, all she left me was my bones. That's what he said. All she left me were my bones.
So if he said all she left me with was my dick.
See, I'm not the only one that says
Dr.
it. Like,
Dick from that point on.
Everybody agrees with this. The bridge looks terrible.
Calling the bridge an Apple Store is something that people did crazy back in 2009. That's nothing new.
See, Ariel, I get it as well. Like, we get it. It's just Salty. Just he's whatever. He's old. So.
All I got left is this flask of booze that somehow I'm drinking while joining the military.
Yeah, see, that doesn't lend itself well to a nickname, so that would never be a nickname. So I don't get your point. I don't get what your point is.
I think Dr. Booze would have been a more accurate description of McCoy than Bones.
Nah. Yeah. And yes, Stanley, that's the implication that she took the house, she took the car, she took the money, she took it all. All she left him with was his bones. What do you guys look, man? I know you're autistic, but stop acting like a effing retard. Come on.
Wow, dude. First of all, don't.
Sorry. I don't know if he's autistic. I don't. That part was a joke. I'm sorry.
No, it's not that. It is that, but it's also using the term retard in the derogative is not okay. That's one of those things that YouTube will kill you for. So please don't do that.
I'm sorry, people. They're just jokes. It's not a dick.
Yes, but YouTube doesn't care. You've got to get
YouTube. We got to get on Rumble.
No, anyway, we don't, because
I gotta clean up my. It's not good enough that I quit drinking, and I'm really trying hard not to say GD. I gotta give up midget next, right? Is that what I got to give up next? Is that a bad word too?
Yes, it is. And you know what? You got to
See,
get
I
over
can't
it.
even say that. I literally knee-jerk reaction was like,
Just like you can't say the name of the fascist party from Germany in the 1940s. You know, it's
California.
Yeah, you can say California.
It's worse than the other N word.
Bolivian marching powder.
Oh my God.
Don't you want to build a snowman?
And that's what's wrong with the world today, Bradley. You know, my generation and generations prior to mine, we were raised on sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Words are like, oh my gosh.
But now there's such. But now people say that if
your whole life ruined over words, over just saying words.
If you say
even if you're a comedian.
They say that mean words are an act of violence and therefore harmful. And so there's no difference between me insulting you and me punching you in the face. And I beg to differ, because if I insult you, then unless
Hey, what up, BB Wolf? Thanks for joining the chat.
Yeah, unless you are a true snowflake, as they say, you'll probably forget about it by tomorrow. If I punch you in the face, assuming I do a good job of it, you'll remember it for a few days. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. Do you know how like self-important these kids today think they? I gotta sound like such an old man when I say stuff like that. But
kids.
You offend them with words. They never let that shit go. They never. They're so soft. They're just soft. I hate it. But okay, I'll add that to my list of words I'm supposed to not say, and I'll work
maybe you need like Post-it notes around your monitor.
I think I do. I think I do.
Words that you can't use. You know?
Yeah. A list. Just tape a list right here.
Yes.
Do not say these words. You know. Super chat.
And thank you, Mercer says, rest in peace, Terry Carter from the original Battlestar Galactica. Yes, the original Colonel Ty has passed away. Of course, he was 95 years old. That's not an exaggeration.
That's a good run. That's a real good run.
Yeah, so I will say that in fairness, it's sad for his family, not a tragedy. You know, I mean, anybody who lives 95 years, regardless of whether they were an actor or not, that's an impressive.
And that's the difference between a funeral and a celebration of life. That man's going to have a celebration of life.
Well, he should.
Yeah.
We don't know what kind of family he had. I mean, maybe they're a bunch of jerks. Could Deadpool have Snowflame, the cocaine-powered, super-powered villain? He could, but I don't think they're going to go there. Because Kevin...
you think they're going to have Hulk incest, so...
No, I said that it was possible that they could show the Hulk family.
3 years later.
Yeah. Later. Yeah, so Kirk joins the Academy, and we fast forward 3 years... and then this is one of those deleted scene reuses here. So for those of you that don't know, this scene...
Oh, man, I meant to have you point that out to me.
Yeah.
You said that he doesn't have the tats. When did we see him already then? Like...
in the
very opening minutes when
let's see if we go to here's George on the ship.
See, that's how bad this is. Totally forgettable. People don't even notice something because that should be glaring. Like, go to the scene where he's going to. No, he's got tattoos.
He does have the tattoos. That's right. I forgot. He gets the tattoos in the comic book. I forgot.
Okay.
And anyway.
There we go.
All right, so back to here. So this scene is the reuse of a scene from the deleted scenes where he's actually in Klingon prison.
Yeah, no, Mercer, you're right. In Salty did point that out yesterday.
Yeah, and this is it's the ear does get lopped off, and he also has scars on the back of his head, but the unfortunately, they cut out the whole Klingon prison sequence. And
see, this is why Ariel just gets me. He actually had a really good pause on the watch along. If nothing else, you should go to supportsalty.com and pay the $5 just to see that pause. She did have no butt, but it was still a nice pause. You know.
All right, so But anyway, so that one shot of him lying down
I'm
was
just gonna leave that there.
originally yes, we're gonna finish the Battlestar Galactica, but we got stuff to do first. We got Thomas sent us the Star Trek documentaries we got to watch.
Yes.
And then we'll get back to Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
All right. So sorry, but
anyways, Mom, we got this whole Star Trek vibe thing going on with our thumbnails anyway. So
anyway, so in the deleted scenes, we find out that Nero is sitting in a Klingon prison for 20 years. That after the Narada was hit by the Kelvin, a bunch of Klingon ships attacked the Narada, and then somehow Nero and some of his crew are taken captive before the Narada escapes or something. Then, 20 years later, the remaining crew of the Narada show up and rescue him, but blow up like 47 Klingon ships.
you were saying why the Uhura,
which is why Uhura got the transmission that all those Klingon ships were taken down by a single Romulan ship.
Yeah.
And it actually makes a lot more sense.
So someone in the chat,
look at the scars on his head there.
Yeah, Bradley Briggs says this guy's like I was talking. I know him from this and the Hulk. What the hell else has he been that makes him typecast as a bad guy? That's what I want to know. Like
he was in one like an Exorcist type movie that I really liked, where I think he was a cop.
Yeah, and BB he explained that they cut all that stuff out.
Yeah.
But
yeah. But yeah, so yeah, unfortunately, the way they write the dialogue in this, they just say, "Yeah, we've been waiting for 25 years," and it's like, really, you've been waiting for 25 years, and this, okay.
Here's something sad about this actor. It's just to kind of help prove my point. So I'm on his IMDb, right?
Mm-hmm.
And on the actor tab, they have like previous movies is always the one that's defaulted to be open, right?
Right.
And he's got 41 credits under previous, and then it shows a list. And then when you get to the bottom of the list, if you want to see them all, you can click see all. So it's showing from 2024 to this movie called Lone Survivor in 2013. I've literally, and it goes Force of Nature, Blueback, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Back to the Outback, The Orchard, The Dry, Dirty John, The Forgiven, King Arthur, Legend of the Sword, The Secret Scriptures, Special Correspondence, The Finest Hours, Delivers from Evil,
Delivers from Evil. That's the
Baby It's You, and Lone Survivor. So I literally am not making a joke here. I haven't heard of or seen any of these movies. This guy's career went to shit after this movie. It just
it's because you haven't seen. I mean, dude, how many movies have you been in?
Closed Circuit, Deadfall, Hannah the Time. Yes, after Star Trek was his last big role. Probably after Star Trek, it's just a huge jump off a cliff. Looking at
unfortunately,
because Mercer brings up Munich. Munich was in 2005.
Right. Well, unfortunately, if you're in a massive blockbuster and you are like, because remember when Star Trek 2009 came out, the big complaint was him.
Oh yeah, and just like when Nemesis came out, the big complaint was Tom Hardy. That dude became a rock star now. He's fucking huge.
Right. But it took Tom Hardy a long time to be a rock star, and
it took Eric Bana a long time to fall from grace.
Venom is not that. I mean, as far as superhero,
he's been in a ton of flicks. I bet you if I look at his IMDb right now, it's way more than Eric Bana's. What's that cat's name?
Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy, thank you. Yeah, man, God, look, and if you rattle off the list.
Yeah, Mercer, it is funny. The MCU started the year before this movie came out.
Yeah, so 58 previous credits. And when I go through these, there's banger, like, Peaky Blinders, Spider-Man No Way Home, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Capone, Venom, Dunkirk, The Revenant, Mad Max Fury Road. You know what I mean? Like, it's
hold on. Here's the problem. I'm calling you out on your bias here.
He's in The Dark Knight Rises. I mean,
you're suggesting that his career is more successful because he's in more of your kind of movies. Eric Bana.
He's been in more movies and bigger blockbusters than Eric Bana.
You know what? There are a lot of actors that don't, and number one, how much the actor is paid isn't necessarily determined by the budget of the film.
Fair enough. And Ariel, I'm sorry, it's ADHD theater. You
Yeah.
know, it's yeah.
I don't,
And we're both on very little sleep, so we're probably close to delirious at this point.
but
We make these sacrifices for you, people.
but my point is just that you know, Eric Bana has been in more dramatic roles and more romantic roles and stuff like that. Stuff that you probably wouldn't go see. Whereas Tom Hardy has been in more action movies and superhero films.
Okay, all right. Well, Ariel's right. I derailed us. Let's get back on the tracks here.
So he says that he's not going to kill Spock. He wants to make him watch, which sounds,
I want to make him watch.
Yeah, which sounds wrong when you
He's
think
so dirty. Yeah, I mean, this is a dirty boy. Nero is.
Yeah. So yeah. Meanwhile, at Starfleet Academy, Kirk is horn dogging, which is really annoying to me.
Ladies,
Yeah.
yeah. Just like, come on, man.
And then he's telling McCoy that he's going to take the Kobayashi Maru a third time, which I think is
here's the green lady scene coming up. Yeah.
And so that looks like Kirk had a little bit of a rough patch there. So I don't know what is somebody behind Kirk that we can't see.
Yeah, it's not an O face. That's a oh fuck face.
Yeah, that's like you know, like when Deadpool said, "Whoa, pegging is nothing new for me, but it's new for it's new for Disney."
Yeah,
it's
right.
Like that's what's going on here. I don't know, but. And Mercer says Will Wheaton is in this film. As far as what are you even talking about?
Mercer, stop smoking your cat's nip. Come on, dude. Like,
okay, T'Pring, what is going on? Why are you spazzing out, huh? What's wrong?
All right, look,
I'm being attacked.
You can no, that's fine. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna. This is terrible. It's only been. Oh, well, it's been an hour. It's not too bad. I got to pee again. I'll be back. Just get us through this part. I'll be back.
Danny is suffering from a urinary tract infection.
No, I think I got an enlarged prostate. I need to get it checked out. It's putting pressure on my bladder. Wow, I'm really oversharing. Anyway, I'll be back, and you guys talk about the deleted scene with this chick that would have made this movie a lot better.
Well, that comes later. We'll talk about that when we get there.
All right. Well, carry on. I'll be right back.
Mercer says he's the voice of the Romulan over the loudspeaker. Really? Because that voice is very deep. It doesn't sound like Will Wheaton at all. But if you say so, I mean, maybe Will Wheaton's claiming that. But, you know, is he in the credits? I mean, genuinely, I don't know. And so now you got me wanting to look here. So let's go to Star Trek 2009. Oops. Helps if I don't do that. All right. Star Trek 2009 IMDb. Let's see. All right, all cast and crew. Let's see. Manicol, Irwin, Sean Shaw, Anthony Yeltsin, Ben Cross, and writer Chris Hemsworth, Jennifer Morrison, Rachel, Tim Griffin, Kevin Yu, Jeff Castle, Billy Brown, Zoe, Max, Jacob, Lorenzo, Colby.
Are you having a stroke or something? What's going on?
I'm reading the entire cast of Star Trek 2009.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I do miss having the third man, the research department, the IT guy, you know, all that stuff.
Let's see. Man, there's a lot of people in this movie. Okay, so yeah, it says Will Wheaton, Romulan voice uncredited.
Well, then if he's uncredited, he's like it doesn't count.
Yeah.
It's not like someone who's famous and you see them and they go uncredited. It's like some loser who was probably begging for a part got to sneak an Easter egg in, and there's really no way to prove if it was him or not. So I don't know.
Anyway, so Will Wheaton was I don't know that he was that particular Romulan, because it seemed he says it was a Romulan that was over the intercom, but that Romulan was like,
if they Stanley's got it right. If they really wanted to prove it was that, somebody would have said, "Oh, shut up."
Well, maybe that's why. Remember in that one scene that I make fun of, when Nero goes, "Kia!" right at the screen, he's actually yelling, "Shut up, Wesley," in the Romulan language. So yeah, that would make sense.
Hey, ABJ, welcome. Who's winning the fight?
Why is your screen black now?
What are you talking about?
You are a black screen.
No, I'm not. I'm
no,
right here.
You are a look at the live stream on YouTube. You are a black screen.
Oh shit. Well, what happened?
I don't know. I just see a black screen.
Okay. I'll work on that. Keep talking. It's settings.
Danny breaking everything.
All I did was get up and leave to pee, and all I did was click the two buttons, the mute and the turn off camera.
Yeah, I know. I keep telling you to stop turning your camera off all the time, and this is what happens.
Well, no, when I went to the back, would you?
No, I understand that, but you were turning it on and off and on and off and on and off a few minutes ago. So don't try.
Okay, Dad, stop yelling at me. Give me PTSD. I'm just kidding. I'm working on it. Let's see.
All right, so then Uhura comes in, and this is, of course, Danny's favorite part of the movie, because you have two scantily
It was pretty nice. Well, in the one with the booty, they never show her booty. You know what I mean? They quickly. Anyway, that's not working either. Hold up.
There, I had it first. There you go. That's the shot you liked, but which I was pointing out. There's nothing there.
No booty. Yeah, that's true. But like I said last night, it's the most skin I've seen in quite a while.
Well, now I see the OBS screen.
Yeah, I'm going through my different sources. I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyway, so then we cut to the Kobayashi Maru, and this is where things were another deleted scene. There's only a few seconds of footage, and it makes it so much better. And that is, we find out why Kirk was sleeping with Galen. That he was, and this would actually be more in character with Kirk. In the original series, Kirk would frequently have sex with beautiful alien chicks, not because he just wants to have sex with beautiful alien chicks, but because he was trying to manipulate them in some way. Either get
something out of them, like a James Bond. Okay.
Yeah, he's either trying to. Yeah, I see you now. Either he's trying to get information, or he was trying to get them to do something for him. And in this particular case, that's exactly what he's doing with Galen. Is that we see while they're doing the Kobayashi Maru test and all the computers go wacky, we see her actually inserting the code into the computer system that makes everything change.
Yeah, so they even show the glitch, and you said.
Well, the live stream, it hasn't quite caught up. It's still the other screen.
Oh, okay.
So it's switched. Okay, there we go. So that worked, and the audio works now. So now let me try switching back.
It's a callback to an earlier joke.
What's that? Oh,
Darth
called
Maul.
Doctor. Yeah, Dr. Dick. All right, so
Oh.
we see what happens when I say. Okay, so now it seems to work. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird. Anyway, so
Evie Muck seems to have had a hiccup, but hey,
we're back. Yeah, Stanley says we're back. All right,
Yeah.
cool deal.
All right. So anyway, so it makes a lot more sense because in this version, when Kirk is like, "Oh, are there?" He says their shields are still up, and he's like, "Are they?" And he's like, "No," but it's like, but how did Kirk do that? And the only explanation we get is in the hearing when Spock says, "Somehow you managed to insert a subroutine."
Yeah.
And that's not an explanation. The somehow is he got Galen to do it while they were taking the test.
And it's literally cutting out 2 seconds because it's right before the glitch. You're saying you cut to her.
You basically
she puts the
see her
thing
putting
in,
a little disc
like
in the
like
drive,
a jump drive or something or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And so it makes no sense to cut it. You all right there?
Yeah.
You sure? You sounded like
Yeah, a little dry throat. I don't know if you notice. I have to.
Let's see.
I hydrate a lot. Let's go with Squirt Zero Sugar. Not a sponsor of the show. What are you doing?
Let's
I
see.
hear the clickety clacks.
I'm trying to find. Let's see.
Oh, so I learned recently that I was breaking one of the 12 traditions by mentioning the groups I go to by name, so I will no longer be doing that. But it's funny because one of the guys I was talking to there the other night was talking about how just holding like a drink in your hand was just is like a big part of it. Because I was talking about how I seem to like pee all the time. And then he was like, well, dude, I'd never see you without a cup in your hand.
Right.
See, it's either soda or coffee every time you're here. I'm like, and he's like, so I was like, oh, I guess he's right. Just like I'm realizing on this show, I just drink a lot more, just not alcohol. You know what I mean?
Right. And come on.
ABJ says he doesn't think he can improve that version of Squirt. Well, I don't like to do sugar, man. I'm still trying to lose that 15 pounds I put on in rehab. It's killing me. Anyway, I won't get into it. The food there was great though, so I can't really, is what it is. Pay the price. Right. Nermal is Mercer's cat, for those who don't know, which is why it's funny that he says Nermal is the captain of our own starship, the USS Thundercat.
So,
and I do drink water, Mom, just not as much as I should, but I do, like when I go out, like let's say I'm eating somewhere with friends, like a restaurant or something, mostly because I don't want to spend the $4 on a soda. I'll drink, I drink a lot of water when I go out.
All right, so see the screen that I have up there?
Yes, Kobayashi Maru, Kirk solution, cheating, deleted scene.
All right, so see, there she is.
Okay, so it's a little longer than 2 seconds. How long is it? Pause it real quick so I can see.
Well, this whole thing is
4 minutes. So
it's showing the whole sequence. Though.
Oh, okay. So where did she start? I'm just curious.
I'm just showing you the important thing.
Yeah. I'm just curious. Okay, go ahead.
So you can see she's right here.
So maybe like 10 seconds.
Yeah. So and I like that. So basically, he tricks her.
He tricked her. So she didn't do it malicious. Oh, so it wasn't a disc. It's just she checks an email and then that happens.
And then it triggers.
See, that makes why cut that out. Okay, why? That's like maybe it added 10 seconds to the scene tops. You know what I mean? The movie's already over 2 freaking hours. Leave the 10 seconds in. It's like, well, thank you for showing me that. That's would have made it better. It's like, I mean, it wouldn't have mattered overall. The movie would still get 2 out of 10 turds, but whatever,
So so that made more sense than what we got, because what we got was it just seemed like magic.
Yeah.
But so then they go to the quote unquote trial of James T. Kirk, which was so stupid because so this is like the opening hearing to and the Admiral Medea actually says that we need to resolve a matter here, and brings up Kirk and informs him that he was caught cheating.
Good catch there, Ariel. I didn't even point that out yesterday.
Yeah.
He did do
And-
the Picard maneuver.
Couple of problems. Number one,
take this man's. Okay, he doesn't even have a wrench. Good. Like, this is blasphemy. Although you said the same thing yesterday. You actually did. You said literally the same thing. But that bar's really effing low, guys. I mean, come on.
It's still
No,
true.
no. First Contact was better.
First Contact was not better than
It was way better than this movie. You're out of your mind.
These characters are more like their TOS counterparts than the
bullshit.
No, they absolutely are.
Oh, okay. Did we see Uhura sing once? No.
Uhura only sang a couple times in the entire original series.
Not once. And then once in a movie in a really big, sexy way.
Once out of 6 movies. There were 6 movies.
It's a thing, though.
And she didn't even sing. She was just kind of dancing.
She was singing. No, she was singing.
Was that her singing?
It was supposed to be her singing. Whether it was Nichelle Nichols or not, I don't know. But it was the character of Uhura singing, yeah.
Anyway, but Kirk would have been told that he was being brought up on charges before the hearing.
Alex, my man, you're right. The theme alone. From
You
First
are
Contact
so wrong, Alex.
It's better than this.
The theme to this movie is way better than the theme to
You're out of your fucking mind. Oh, I'm sorry. You're out of your mind. This is God. Never mind. You like this movie way more than you should. Oh my God! And we're only 33 minutes. We've got an hour and a half of this.
I'm
movie
trying
left.
to get through it, but you won't.
Well, I mean, I have plenty of time. I'm sorry, but you got. And imagine we were, especially me. Actually, no, I was roasting this movie, and then you gave me grief about roasting it because of being uncharacteristic. So I'm biting my tongue, and then you commenced to roast it. And then I'm thanking you for saying it's like you could read my mind.
I'm being consistent. You see, that's the difference between us.
No, if there's a couple things I like, I'll point it out. I like it just because I don't clear across the board.
What I'm saying
all
is
the same stuff.
I got pissed off when they act out of character in this movie, but I also get pissed off when they act out of character in the TNG movies. You give the TNG movies a total pass.
No, I only give the one movie a pass. I only like 1 out of 4.
Nobody's in character. Nobody is in character in that movie.
Hey, Nexus Fever Dream. It's plausible enough. I've convinced myself that's what everything after Generations is, including Picard seasons 1, 2, and 3. It actually manages to excuse 1 and 2 for being so shitty, and why 3 ends on like a money shot. Like it's him finally dying in the Nexus or something, and that was his version of the end of his life flashing before his eyes or something. It was the nostalgia fest we got in Picard season 3 because it's all a Nexus Fever Dream after Generations. It's a beautiful. We should make a video about that. You really should. It'd probably get a lot of hits.
I one thing at a time, dude.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right. So even though they were just starting an opening hearing, somehow Kirk has already been suspended.
Isn't that academic suspension? Yeah. They didn't finish the trial.
Yeah. So they punished him before they even did the hearing.
Yeah.
And so Kirk doesn't get to go on a starship like everybody else, and he's crying about it. Meanwhile, Uhura tells Spock that she wants to be reassigned to the Enterprise because she doesn't want to be on the Farragut.
This scene did make me laugh. The part where, even though this is way out of character for Spock, like you pointed out, it was a pop. It made me pop. It was a pop moment.
It was funny, but the problem was it was funny at the expense of the characters.
I said the same thing yesterday, Mercer, and Salty doesn't think so.
Pine doesn't look anything like Shatner.
Yes, he does. He kind of does.
At least Zachary Quinto looks like Spock, but
this is the worst portrayal of Spock ever. And I'm including the guy from Star Trek Continues, a fan-made series, okay? Zachary Quinto.
Well, okay, you're wrong about that. The Star Trek Continues Spock is really bad. But
yeah, he's kind of a caricature of the SNL Spock, really. Yeah.
I mean, I think Kevin Nealon on SNL did a better Spock than the guy from Star Trek Continues.
Okay, fair enough.
But this, I will grant you, Zachary Quinto, his voice is all wrong, his mannerisms are all wrong, but he looks the part. And I think that's why he was cast, is because in makeup he looks like a young Spock.
Hire a vocal coach or something. Or
well, the problem is you can't make his voice deep. And
don't know
Leonard
that-
Nimoy
that,
has a very
you know.
deep, resonant voice. This
I don't
guy
know.
does.
I think you can make your voice deeper if you try. You just have to commit. You can't just slip in and out of it. You have to keep it. You have to maintain a lower octave when you speak.
Yeah,
And
but
if he
you
was a
sound
decent
like you're-
actor, I feel like he could do it. I sound like I'm talking deeper because you know me. But if you had just met me and I talked
would
like
think,
this,
what's
and I
wrong with you?
maintained it all the time, and this is just how you thought I talked, it would, that's what
Then I would
acting
think
is.
you were a weirdo.
They're making believe. Well, Spock is kind of a weirdo.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I just didn't like how he was taught. He's all wrong. He's all wrong. Him and his mom both miscast.
Well, and I think Zoe is all wrong for Uhura as well.
It's no curves on this woman's. Uhura's thick.
Yeah.
Give me a thick sister. Come on now, not this
Yeah.
beanpole.
Well, not only-
I'll agree with you there.
Well, not only physically, but also her. Uhura was not sassy like she is.
Yeah.
And
No, I'm on the Enterprise. I believe you are.
yeah, and like I said, it was funny, but at the expense of the characters. It wasn't funny because of the characters.
Yeah, because this isn't Star Trek, dude. These aren't it's stupid. It's like Star Trek in name only.
And meanwhile, Dr. McCoy, looking like a
Style.
complete psychotic right here, decides to give Kirk some shots in order to give him symptoms of like Malvarian fleas or something like that.
Yeah, and agreed, Mercer. I actually do like Ethan Peck as Spock.
Yeah, I did. It was so funny because when they said they were bringing Spock into Discovery, I was like, oh, jeez. But then I loved him. I thought he was great.
Yeah.
So the only thing that he did that I really hated was when he got stuck in the elevator with number one and started singing.
Well, that was a short, and luckily, the only reason I ever seen it is because of you. So.
Yeah. But yeah, that was horrible. But other than that, I really liked his performance as Spock. All right, so here we get another scene that is kind of, it's like, who wrote this crap? Alex Kurtzman and Robert Orsi.
Yeah.
The guy reminds Kirk that he's on medical suspension, so he can't come on the ship. And Dr. McCoy says medical code says his attending physician can
That's an
determine
extremely unflattering pause for Chris Pine right there.
No, that's just what he normally looks like. That's what people don't realize. That's what he normally looks like. Everything else is fake. It's digital. So that's the real Chris Pine right there.
Right.
But and so he points out medical code says that his attending physician can determine transport, and that's me. Or do you want to explain to Captain Pike why he's warping into a crisis without one of his senior medical officers?
Cadets.
Yeah,
McCoy?
Cadet McCoy is saying he's going to be missing one of his senior medical officers. How about just medical officers? Because if he's a senior medical officer on the flagship of the Federation, there's a problem. So then they take off and they find the Enterprise. I do like Kirk's reaction to seeing the Enterprise.
Exactly.
And what? Sir Created?
No, Sir Cadet. Senior cadet. Sorry.
So he's a senior cadet, yeah. So I like Kirk's reaction to seeing the Enterprise. I just don't like the Enterprise.
It's an ugly ass ship. Why change stuff? Why change this stuff?
Yeah, like why is the dish so far forward? Why are the warp nacelles so oversized in the front? And
I don't know. I don't like this ship. I don't like the outside or the inside of it at all. I just don't like it.
And the thing is, I mean,
thank you, Ariel. Ariel, that's a great word. Hideous. It's a hideous looking ship. Yes.
And so
yeah. They didn't start changing the color of that thing until the movies.
Right. So not a fan of this version of the Enterprise.
Oh, and the brewery. I guess they gotta.
So then we go into the Budweiser brewery where you see a lot of people taking the tour. and they're getting ready to leave. And we do see like some interesting other starships in the background. And unfortunately, that's all we'll ever see of them because they're about to all die. And we meet Korean Sulu, who I know there was.
Oh my!
Yeah, I know there was some controversy over them casting a Korean when Sulu is Japanese.
Oh my God, he's an actor. Who gives a shit? It's better than Jerry Lewis playing a Chinaman. I mean, give me a break.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of a weird way to put it.
They're never mind. I just
it was Mickey Rooney is what
a handicapped person should be cast in the role because the character's handicapped. No, it's called acting. We're pretending. It's not a documentary.
I'm just saying some people were upset because John Cho.
Well, those people should, really reevaluate their lives or go sit in the garage with the door closed and the car running because they don't need to take up any more of our oxygen.
Wow, dude. That's a bit much.
There's just a lot of stupid people. I get frustrated. You're going to get me started. And what's with the dude? I had to get a headlight yesterday for my car.
Mm-hmm.
Last time I had to buy a headlight, it was like $8-9. It was less than $10. Okay, we're just talking a normal, generic AutoZone, cheap, run of the mill headlight lamp bulb thing.
Right.
$19.50. And then just everything about like we've got inflation, we've got all these virtual signalers,
what the hell are you talking, dude?
We've got all these snowflakes, we've got all these soft.
Where are you? Hello. We're not talking about headlights and inflation, different topic.
Yeah, Alex, you're right. Let's move on to the parking brake. Yes, or past it.
And we talked about that. So Spock's solution was he asked him, "Did you disengage the external?"
Randall Wong, welcome and thank you for this comment. Yes, but this is not okay. It's not. It's everything about this ship is terrible.
Yeah, so Spock says, have you turned off the external inertial dampeners? And that's why the Enterprise couldn't go to warp. Problem is that the external inertial dampeners, turning them off would mean that the second you went to warp, the Enterprise would be crushed like a tin can.
It would crumple up like an accordion,
which is kind of stupid. Here we get Kirk and McCoy in sickbay.
Wow, man! Did you and Mercer watch this together? Because you pointed this out last night about that, or you watched the same special feature, I guess, like the trick with the Spock
with the green screen. I thought the turbo lift scene was cool, but again, they break.
Professor Brainy Specs, welcome.
Hey, yes. Professor Brainy Specs, I haven't talked to you in a while.
Yeah.
But he wants to hear more about the headlights because he thinks it's more interesting than the movie. Well, they use lots of headlights on the bridge set. Boy, do they ever! There's a lot of headlight lamps.
There's a lot of light on the bridge. Way too much. Yeah.
But they went for the full digital lights.
It's like Star Trek. They go from one extreme to the other. You either can't see it like Picard, or it's too bright like this. Come on, man. Can we find a happy medium?
Speaking of too many lights, we're back on the bridge, and we have the Chekhov scene where he can't say Victor.
Victor.
Yeah.
Victor. But yet he said 5. Yeah. No problem.
And it's because the funny thing is, so Anton Yeltsin, may rest in peace. It's so sad that he's gone, but the Anton Yeltsin is actually Russian. And he didn't like doing this scene because that's not a Russian accent. Russians don't have a trouble with the letter V. But, that's...
I mean, Vladimir Putin, it starts with a V. Mm. They don't call him Vladimir,
Right. So anyway. Right there, he looks like a crackhead. Look at that pause right there.
Well, Ariel, Ukraine, Russia, I mean, pretty much what's the difference now? Too soon? Too soon? Too soon? Is it too soon? Okay, too soon.
The war's not even over, man.
Okay, too soon. My bad.
Yeah, at least let the war be over before you determine who the winner is.
Yeah, actually, I think Salty brought this up yesterday. He's like, man, I'd hate to suffer from migraines and work on that bridge or
Yeah,
something.
if you had migraines, you could not work on that ship.
Yeah.
And so then Kirk tries to, hit Uhura with his oversized, laughable gag hands.
Yeah.
Which, okay, I admit that the whole he's having a massive allergic reaction thing is a funny little gag. But, it's just that playing this scene for laughs, I think, was the wrong call. And
everything about this movie is the wrong call.
will you stop, you crazy dog? She's attacking me again.
Man, those are some shiny vats of beer right there, though.
Yes, and you can see that they are literally. It's so funny because they're literally in a giant. Those are giant vats of Budweiser beer. They're at the Budweiser Brewery in Marin County, California, and
you know what? Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
And so they just threw some futuristic computer consoles next to the vats.
Super chat.
And the Fed with a 50 Australian dollar super chat. Dude, thank you so much. I don't even
Holy moly.
Yes, that is very kind. So 50 Australian dollars, that's like, almost $3 here. No, I'm kidding. Australian dollars are actually pretty comparable to American dollars. So you lads are really trying to torment yourself, aren't you? Worst, a very bad lot, this film. Mind you, while Ethan Peck was a very good Spock, I adored Carl Urban as Dr. McCoy. Would certainly want to see those two playing the roles together. I would agree. Ethan Peck and Carl Urban playing off each other could be awesome. That could be absolutely awesome. Now, I don't think this is the worst film by a long shot. I think Star Trek Beyond is the worst film,
which is the only one of the three that I like, but I guess I was so checked out by then. But again, I actually have the Blu-ray and I've never opened it. So last time I saw that, it's funny. All of these movies I only watched in the theater, never bothered watching them again until I had to do stuff like this with you. It's crazy.
Well, just the fact that they defeat the bad guy with the power of rock and roll. Come on, dude.
Okay. The sabotage.
Best of the worst. I gotcha. The best of a bad lot. Yes, and you know what, Fed? Next week we're going into Darkness, and the week after that we are actually doing Star Trek Beyond. So yeah. No, Beyond is the one with Balthazar, the anti-military propaganda film. But we'll get to that in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Next week, Into Darkness is the Wrath of Khan remake. If you want to call it that.
No, Randall, like, at least in the people I know, you're correct. They feel like they get progressively worse, and I feel the exact opposite. But, I'm in the minority there, so that's fine. I'm good. But also, didn't like any of them, really. Only I ever saw them at the movie theater. When we talk next week about Into Darkness, there's a really funny story about why I, quote unquote, at the time loved that movie so much. But I don't, it doesn't hold up, at all. Actually, so that is one, because I did watch that one again with a friend because I talked about how much I loved it and I didn't like it. So anyway, yeah.
Well, I'll admit I found this movie entertaining for what it was.
I couldn't get past all the nonsense. Like, I was actually literally in the theater when I remember annoying my friend because I was like vocal in the theater. I was like, that wouldn't, no. I wasn't finishing my stuff, but like I would start and then just then shut myself up because I'm in a theater. There's just so many moments like that. I just couldn't. It's not Star Trek. It's just not Star Trek.
Right. So then Nero goes to Vulcan and starts drilling a hole into Vulcan, and they're like,
that's not wrong, actually. Look at the Fed's comment here. It's kind of
JJ films are basically Trek imagined by the CW. No, I do disagree because the production value is too high. That's my counter argument. It looks way too good to be CW.
So earlier I was going to say, and I almost interrupted you and I didn't. Somebody said that this looked like an operating room. It kind of does. Well, all the lights and the white tables and rails.
You could lie somebody down on that floor. And it looks clean enough, too, to where which is funny because they go out of their way to make a lot of these ships look dirty and grungy. But, man, this looks spotless. It's like insane. But way too busy a set. I think that's the problem. And
it looks nothing like the bridge of the Enterprise that was so iconic. Like
except for the captain's chair. That's the only thing that I like.
The captain's chair looks nothing like the captain's chair.
It's this. You know what? The captain's chair there looks like a modern take on Kirk's chair.
Okay, all right.
But nothing. But there's the railing around the room. But then you have those work stands with the price checkers on them. So, which I don't understand why they have price checkers everywhere. But, hey, whatever.
Yeah.
I guess in case you need to see how much something costs. And then, Kirk decides to smoke a little weed.
Yeah, that pause. That's what that looks like. That's funny. Hey, man.
And so then he convinces Pike that the Vulcan's under attack. This guy, if I remember correctly, it's Cowley, right? Is that how you say his name? The guy on Star Trek Phase 2 or... anyway, but yeah, this is the guy from Star Trek Phase 2, I think it is. He played Kirk. If I'm remembering correctly, somebody in the chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is James.
Phase 2 is the thing from. You might be confusing. I thought Phase 2 was what they were calling the.
It is, but then there's a fan film production of Phase 2 as well.
Oh, okay.
But or Star Trek Continues, one of the two.
Forza Jersey, welcome, but you're about 30 minutes late with that joke. So you must have just joined us. Thank you very much.
But yeah, so I believe this is James Cowley, and I believe that he is the brainchild of it's either Star Trek Phase 2 or Star Trek Continues, he played Kirk.
No, you're right because what happened? Kirk and Spock get into an argument. Spock gets mad at Kirk. Instead of confining him to quarters or putting him in the brig, he throws him off the effing ship. Come on, man! That would not
only that, but
about overreacting. Overreact much? Yeah. Acting like a little teenager. Yeah, high school flick. Yeah, totally. That's just one example. There are a few.
So then the Enterprise shows up, and the rest of the fleet has been completely devastated by Nero.
Now, the special effects, I'll give props where props are due. Special effects are dope. You know what I mean? Yeah. When they come out of warp and they and all the debris and the bouncing off of the ships and stuff like that.
And R2-D2's in there somewhere. I don't remember.
You tried to show me. You never could, but that's fine. I'll take your word for it. I don't care enough to go frame by frame to find it. I literally just said I don't care, and you're going to look it up. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Please. Good Lord. Well, we're definitely not finishing in 20 minutes, folks. I'll tell you that right now.
It's your fault.
We're not even halfway through this flick. It's torture. It's so funny. The ones I hate the most, we talk about the most. It's like it's just like or the longest or whatever.
Let's see what the image is. Okay, so it's when they're looking out the view screen. It looks like okay.
Forza, what do you guys got? Some kind of heat? He says last time he saw you, you were still salty, but he hopes all is well. What's he talking about?
I don't know.
You have something with him?
I'm always salty.
You two have beef?
What do I know?
Oh man, he looked like he was pinching a loaf there for a second.
Who?
Sulu.
Well, he probably will.
In 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2.
Okay.
Alex Moore. Oh, well,
okay.
Thanks for remembering us as a backup to your other stream. I appreciate that. And yes, you should, because it's a terrible fucking movie. This is like when we were first doing these, and before I knew we were gonna do the Abrams verse, and I was talking about how like worst Star Trek movie and blah blah blah. Oh, wait till you get these ratings from me on these. This is.
Yep, there he is.
Oh wow, clear as day, right there, bottom left. Thank you. I see it. I still don't give a shit. I still don't give a shit. How did they not get sued by Lucasfilm? That's crazy.
Because ILM did the visuals.
Oh, how cute.
They're the ones that threw that in there.
Oh, how cute. And it's really out of place. If you think, and not just because, I mean, the quality of it's like one of these things is not like the other. It's clearer than all the other effects. You know what I mean? It's weird. It's like.
But yeah, so this, but, predicting the future, look at the freaking dots on, you know what the dots are?
The dots on what?
In Discovery. They're those stupid little robots that fix the ship.
The little ship droids.
Yeah. So this is just predicting. R2 was just an early version.
Yeah. So Ariel, I actually brought this up because there's a scene where they like shields up,
the shields are up,
and then they get shot. I'm talking about a different scene where that's about to come up, and the Nero shoots his whatever projectiles at him, and the shields are up. There's a clear, like a bullet or whatever it is goes through the hull of the ship. A missile goes through the whole. Well, it was like a big, spiky, weird looking missile. It goes through the hull of the ship, and then they cut to Sulu saying shields are still at down to 32%. If they were, you had a hull breach. The shield didn't work.
So let me, as far as, and that's an inconsistency for sure. But one thing about like the TOS era shields, you would see impacts on the ship. The shields just lessened it. And so if you've hit,
how do you lessen a hull breach? I mean, that's it. That's the
right.
That's
but the
worst damage
the shields
you can do.
aren't an impenetrable force field most of the time. It's not like in TNG where there's a bubble around the ship. The shields are actually, it's more like polarized hull plating.
Back 3 months ago I'd have been down, but 51 days sober today, so I'll skip on the drinking game. But yeah, you would get alcohol poisoning halfway through. Probably not even halfway through it, because we're not even halfway through it.
Yes. Speaking of which, I will be right back. So you entertain the crowd.
Okay, that's fine. I'll be your little dancing monkey. I've made you do it a few times already, but hold up. So we've got here Ariel asking, then why isn't that other ship bouncing off the shields of the Enterprise instead of hitting the actual engine part? See, we're on the same page, Ariel. It's like the shield technology is sketchy at best, in this film. And Mercer says, I'm happy for no, thank you very much. New job's going good. The whole not drinking thing's going good. I hate I don't hate. I do. I don't miss drinking. I miss pot. I'm not gonna lie. I miss pot, but I can live without it. I'm doing good. And I'm, life's moving. Every aspect of the life has gotten better, moving in the right direction. Not only is the job going well, closed a couple deals, So yeah, life is good. I can't complain. God is good. What we got here? Ariel says, beg to differ. Look at Enterprise, Star Trek 3, they're having a bubble go up around the ship, and even in Star Trek 6. Yeah, Salty and I have talked about this before. It's an inconsistency that they have. Sometimes the shield is just like the screen, where it's just like it's contour cut to the ship, kind of like a sticker kind of thing. And sometimes it's a big bubble, like in TNG, which is how it was mostly shown in the TNG series. It's just like a giant.
And so I could hear most of that. And I would say this: when in Star Trek,
thank you.
When in Star Trek 3 did they show a bubble around the ship? They don't.
I was reading something. I wasn't.
Yes, I know, but I was pointing that out.
Thank you, Mercer.
Okay. In Star Trek 3,
you pee a lot quicker than I do. That's good. That's
because I'm normal.
Yeah, okay. Speaking of normal, Mercer says normal is also happy for me, so that's cool. Right on.
How's that? Speaking of normal.
Normal, one word off or one letter off. I don't know. It was a stretch for a segue. I tried. Anyway, now that you're back, let's continue on.
Well, don't you want to talk about the presence of R2 units in Star Trek some more?
No.
I mean, that's canon now. R2-D2 is canon in Star Trek.
And this isn't Star Trek.
Yeah, it is. Get over it.
Oh man, see, I know I said I could run long, but not 2 hours long. Come on, let's get moving. Let's get moving along.
I'm just saying you can't handle the truth.
So Stanley, that is inquiring minds want to know. Good question. Maybe it's only covering 30% of the ship, which is why the missiles were able to penetrate the hole in that one area of the ship.
I tend to think the missile overwhelmed the shield and got through, and the shields are not going to repel nearly as much the next time, which means another direct hit, and that's what Sulu even says. We can't take another hit.
He's talking about they didn't consult me about this change. Your name has changed from Salty Trekker to Nerd Fights. Now the channel's still.
I'm still salty. The channel is Nerd Fights because that's what we do.
Yeah. However,
and I figured it was unfair to keep calling the channel me when I'm not the only one on the channel. So if that makes any kind of sense.
Right, but youtube.com/@nerdfights isn't you. It's some kid with one subscriber and 4 videos.
Right. So if you...
So I see his confusion.
Yeah, because you have to go @Salty Trekker to get the channel, which is stupid, but that's how it is.
Yeah. So maybe we shouldn't have done it. Maybe we should have kept... I guess it doesn't matter.
Maybe we should bully that kid into giving up his name.
It literally is a kid. It's crazy. Well, one subscriber, probably his mother.
And is he under 13? In that case, his channel is illegal, and we should sue him.
Ooh, let me check. He looked young. He looked pretty damn young. I wonder how long that channel's been there.
What?
Let's move. No, this is going to take forever. I'll look it up. You can keep doing that.
All right. So Nero tells Pike that he needs to come over to negotiate. Same thing he did to Captain Rabot at the beginning. And Spock and Kirk are like, yeah, that's probably going to not go good for you. And then Pike's like, you know what? I'm of sound mind and body, so I'm going to take this cadet who's suspended and stowed away on my ship and make him the new first officer.
We can't. Here's the thing, bro. 1 subscriber, 4 videos. At the time, clearly under 13. The channel's 13 years old. The videos are all 13 years old. So he secured this name a long time. He probably died. He's probably dead, to be honest with you.
Wow, dude.
No, it's probably like, mom was trying to encourage him. I mean, look at these playlists. These playlists are ridiculous. They're like rap.
I'm not looking at the playlist. I'm looking at the movie, which you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. You sent me off to do some homework. I did it because, Anyways, didn't Spock call to talk to the other doctor for a reason? Because he asks for the other doctor. McCoy says he's dead, and then Spock's okay. So you're in charge now. He's like, no shit, and he walks off. Well, Spock never asked whatever he was the question or
because
whatever.
The whole purpose of it was just to establish that hey, McCoy is now the chief medical officer.
Yeah, but that's not why Spock called the character.
No, it was
Spock
because Spock read the script and it said that he had to call McCoy and verify that he's now the chief medical officer.
Okay.
All right. Spock's just unlike you. Spock actually read the script.
Oh, okay.
All right. So then Pike has this clever plan to have Sulu, Kirk, and Engineer Olsen.
Siler. No, that's all I see because I actually love that show, Heroes. He was
Siler.
Yeah.
He
was good as Siler. He was a really
he was scary as F as Siler.
Yeah. So why he portrays Spock so soft? I almost said sock. So anyway,
I don't know, but so. Anyway, so I think that Olsen should have been renamed as Engineer Dead Meat. Because, come on, you're sending a red shirt on a mission with 2 of the main characters.
She's going to go subscribe to that kid's channel, so he's got more than one. We'll stop bullying him.
All right, everybody subscribe to him.
That kid died from leukemia like 4 years ago. He's not.
Wow, dude, you got to stop that. You don't know. Okay, everybody go subscribe to him and then say, hey, You know what? You haven't posted any new content in 13 years. Give your channel name up. All right. So they jump out of the shuttle and skydive down to the platform. And surprise, surprise, engineer. That's the look right there.
That's the O face.
Yeah. That's like, oh, Engineer Olsen is dead.
No, that's the face he made right before his car killed him.
Oh, dude.
Oh, what, too soon? Come on, this was a long time ago.
Dude,
is it too soon?
Come on. Tasteless, man.
I'm into dark humor. I'm
Wow,
sorry.
you need a serious filter on that.
Why? I can't be the only one laughing this hard. I guarantee you at least one other person watching this right now.
This is why I would be Wolverine and he is Deadpool. If I could, I would punch him in the dick with my claws right now. And if you haven't seen the trailer, yeah, that's exactly what Wolverine does. Punch Deadpool in the dick with his claws.
Ariel laughed, and yet no, Forza. I don't mean to make light. I try to make jokes out of tragedy. Yes, R.I.P. indeed to this guy. No, for sure.
And he was a good kid. You know, that's
if you can't laugh about terrible things, that just keeps them terrible. I don't know. So I have so many Hitler jokes.
It's still a terrible thing. You can don't say that name. See, you're laughing like it's funny that Google tracks this stuff and could shut us down for it. That's not laughable. That's no.
Sorry. That's what's wrong with AI. Come on, a human would be like you wouldn't flag that. Like,
but we're not dealing with humans. We're dealing with AI, and our robot overlords don't like it when you use those words.
Mike Richards says I need a tranquilizer dart. Okay, I'll simmer down. We got to.
We do. We seriously. Yeah. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm gonna wire it up so that somehow I can shoot you remotely. Have like a fist on a spring just hit you in the face whenever you start going too far. All right.
Oh, wow. You're back in the hospital, Ariel? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, she said that she was talking from the hospital.
Oh, I must have missed that. I'm so sorry. I would say DM me, but you don't, you never do. So that's fine. It's all good.
So, yeah.
So my tasteless jokes probably
are echoing through the hospital right now. Your jokes about Anton Yeltsin dying are literally echoing in the halls of a hospital.
Hey, man, would you stop it? Okay,
I want to make sure everybody knows it's not me, people. If you're listening to this, if you're a doctor, a nurse, another patient,
let's move on.
It's not Salty. It's all Danny. It's 100% Danny. He hates you. I don't.
All right, let's rag on Sulu, who says he's a fencer, and yet he's busting out a samurai sword or whatever. Yeah. Let's get to that. Come on. Let's
and also the fact that Kirk here is going hand to hand with two Romulans. Remember, Romulans are about the same physiologically as Vulcans, and in the next movie, Spock goes toe-to-toe with Khan, who throws Klingons around like they're toys.
Yep.
So, yeah, we got issues. What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
What?
Nothing.
No,
my terrible sense of humor. You don't want me to say it. Trust me. I was just, yeah.
So we get this little action sequence of Kirk fighting the one guy, Sulu fighting the other. It's not bad, except the fact that these are Romulans they're fighting, so they should completely annihilate Kirk and Sulu.
Yeah.
That's the problem with using Romulans. And meanwhile, Chekhov has really let himself go. And so...
Oh, I thought that was the Curb Your Enthusiasm guy.
Captain! Hey, we got hit with an aging ray.
Got hit with a Jew ray. What are you talking about?
Ooh, dude! Oh man, what is?
Hey, it's better than the joke I was thinking about a second ago.
It's not. I don't know.
It really is. If you don't cool off, I'll say it. So go, let's move on.
Next, you're going to start making wisecracks about Hamas. Oh my gosh!
What hummus is delicious. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with hummus? Hey, look at this! You got another super chat.
And thank you so much, Forza, for 1930s Austrian corporal jokes for 400, Alex. I give up. I just give up. You're just gonna get me kicked off of the YouTube.
Why is it on your face is Cool World, but up in the middle is Eartha Kitt?
I don't know, but I mean.
Oh wow! And then on YouTube, it's Marilyn Monroe. That's funny.
Yeah, well, all are good.
Yeah.
You know.
Fair
enough. So anyway, then Sulu falls off and Kirk dives after him.
Oh, you purposely skipped the part where Sulu kicks that guy into a flame and roasts him. Never mind. I won't make the joke. Yeah, that's bad. That's why you skipped it. You're smart.
Yeah, I don't know what you were about to say, but yeah, probably not good.
Well, I mean, it just looked like hotter than a Holocaust oven. That's all.
Oh, dude.
I did post this demonetization in 3, 2, 1, like right before I said Sorry. This is me sober, guys. It's crazy. 51 days today. Hey, Jeremy's got a sense of humor. Look at that. Okay. All righty. 99% perfect. I like that thumbnail. Hey, look at that. Ariel was thinking the same thing. She said she was about to say something like it, and I beat her to it. So I know our crowd. Let's continue.
You may know our crowd, but you're gonna get us canceled.
Yeah. I may have offended some people. We lost about 6 viewers. I'm sorry.
So then, now somebody explain this to me.
Why? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah,
so Spock needs to beam down to the planet. So he gets down into a squatting crap position, and before he beams down, why?
Yeah.
Why is he not just standing? It doesn't make. And I mean, we know also why don't they beam him right to the entrance to the Katric Arc? But
yeah, that was my thing. I didn't.
Yeah.
This didn't bother me. My thing was why beam him so
yeah, but
far
I mean,
away?
it's not like I would say, okay, hold on.
They could clearly
let me
beam the people
squat
off
down
of that. No, they beamed them off the planet from there. Why couldn't they? Oh, you got another super chat.
Here's the thing: is Jar Jar Trek is still painful to watch 15 years later.
Amen. Yeah.
Now, okay, so let me say this though, Forza, and I know because I've been giving Danny a hard time, so it wouldn't be fair if I didn't give you a hard time. I love you, and I really appreciate the super chat, but please don't call him Jar Jar. I know it's low hanging fruit. It's easy to call JJ Jar Jar, and people started calling him Jar Jar way back in the day.
Oh, I wasn't even taking it that way. I thought he was just like calling it Star Wars Trek.
No, it's people called J.J. Abrams Jar Jar Abrams for a long time. And now you're going to make it worse. Thank you.
No, you're right. I should just put it all in a newsletter. Thank you, Wizards.
Yeah, Danny, you put out a newsletter for people that just want really tasteless commentary.
Sorry, I was raised before we all became a bunch of pussies. My bad.
No, look, I agree with you. I really do. But I'm also trying to not get this channel canceled, which you don't seem to give a crap about.
Hey, Bondage Brittany's in the house. What's up? It's been a while since I've seen Bondage Brittany.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trek, rest in peace. Thanks for a great 50 years. Anyway.
Okay, are you done?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Spock is squatting for some reason, and then when he materializes, he's like a half a mile away. Not to mention, it's a half a mile up to get to the entrance to the Katric Arc. That is, even for Spock, a ridiculous workout to get up there.
Right, and Ariel, if that's because I'm making you laugh and it's hurting you, I do apologize. If you got the setup I had, though, just press the button. I think they let you do it every 30 minutes. So
I need to press the button. So he walks in and they're all like meditating around something. And here's what I don't understand. Why is Winona there?
You know, I asked that question about an hour ago. Why is Winona
No,
there? She's
shut
totally
up.
miscast. She's totally miscast.
I'm not talking about, okay, why is Amanda there?
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's no good answer to that
She's
either.
not a Vulcan. There's no reason for her to, because remember, Spock even said the Vulcan elders will be there because it's the Kotric Ark, right? And for whatever reason, I guess they meditate there. But she's not even a Vulcan.
Yeah. And she's apparently, everybody talks shit about her behind her back. And sometimes they do it in public or at public hearings. So why is she there? It's a great question. Makes no sense.
And Ariel, well, the reason they didn't start evacuating as soon as Nero's ship started blasting the planet is because they didn't know what he was doing. She brought marshmallows. Yeah, she probably did. That she stole from the store.
She's standing right next to Spock, holding his arm in this scene.
Yeah.
Cut away for half a second, and then she's 3 feet in front of him, plunges to her death. What the hell?
Let's get us out now.
Locking volume.
He just walks forward, cut back to her. Now she's 3 feet. No, it's perspective. She's at least 3 feet in front of him.
Well, that's because they
got. Like, why walk closer to the edge? You were just holding your son's arm.
Because they need to make it realistic that she could fall and he wouldn't.
Yeah. Okay. Or just not kill her. Or not even.
No, but Spock's. You know what? Hey, her death, I think, would unhinge Spock.
We'll talk about that shitty scene when we get to it. Go on. Just let's skip ahead. Okay. Spoiler alert. Winona Ryder dies, or Amanda dies. Yeah.
Well, it's not a spoiler. We're on that scene.
Yeah. Boom. Oh no. Chekhov is all I can get her.
Yeah.
Bummer.
And they're all like, "Oh, well, that sucks, Spock." And Sarek is like, "Oh crap, she still owes me $5."
He's doing a pretty good job of his face emoting that he's sad and he wants to cry, but he's a Vulcan and he's got to be strong.
Right.
Like he was saying all of that in his face. That guy that playing Sarek. So that was
Yeah, that's what I said. Ben Cross absolutely brings it home as Sarek. He I think that he's one of the best performers in this movie. So I would not mind seeing, like, I would, granted, he's probably too old now.
I'll be right back. Animal problem. Keep talking.
All right. I don't know if Ben Cross is even still alive, but I would say, Ben Cross as Sarek, Ethan Peck as Spock, Carl Urban as McCoy. That would be some awesome casting. You still have, this new guy they have playing Kirk is okay, but he doesn't look like Kirk. But I like the way that he's been acting especially in season 2 of Strange New Worlds. But we still need a good Kirk. But we'll see what they do with Strange New Worlds season 3 and 4. They've confirmed a season 4. Anyway, so then we get Vulcan imploding. And actually pretty interesting. I mean, visually, very well done scene, even if it violates 17 laws of physics along the way. And let me bring the comments up here for a second, make sure that I'm not missing anything. Way to go, Chekhov. Oh, yeah, that's true, Ariel. That didn't Chekhov just get Kirk and Sue being why they're falling. But okay. But here's the problem. They were in the process of beaming everybody else up. So he couldn't do that while he was beaming everybody else. I think that would, I'll give that one to him. Mercer says, Ben Cross was the villain first night. He passed away a few years ago. Okay, I didn't know if he passed away or not. He was also, there's a movie where he plays a priest called The Unholy, and it's a cheesy movie, but I actually really liked him in it. So good writing for Kirk in Strange New Worlds. I think so, yes. I actually like the way Kirk is written in Strange New Worlds. He's not a horn dog, which I really appreciate the fact that they got that right. With that much imploding, why isn't it sucking the Enterprise into it as well? And good question, Ariel. Let me tell you, and this is actually one scene where they did it right, as opposed to later when they do it wrong. If you have a device, in this case red matter, that can convert anything where it condenses to the point where it becomes a singularity, a black hole, which is obviously what they did to Vulcan here. The thing is that, okay, the red matter, through whatever magical process that it uses, sucks in the planet, but it's still the same mass. And so if you were to take the Earth or any planet and you condensed it enough, it would become a singularity. So if you took like a planet in our solar system, let's say you took Mars, just as an example, and you squashed it down to where Mars was the size of a pea, it would probably, on the surface of that pea, it would be like a singularity. The gravity would be so intense because of the density of the mass that even light wouldn't be able to escape it. However, if you were at the same distance from the center of that pea as you were before when you were orbiting it, gravity would be exactly the same. Because gravity is dependent upon the mass of the object and inversely squared with the distance of the object. And so, and the distance particularly from the center of that mass. And so if you, the reason that the gravity isn't super intense on the surface of the Earth is because even standing on the Earth, assuming you don't believe in a flat Earth, but even standing on the Earth, you're like 1,000 plus, well, more than 1,000. You're like, I don't know what, 2,000 or 3,000 miles away from the center of the mass. Now, if you were to shrink the Earth down to where the Earth was only 100 feet across, now you're under only 100 feet away from the center of mass. And so gravity would be much, much more intense. And so the distance from the center of mass is really important. If the Enterprise was orbiting around Vulcan and Vulcan shrank down into a black hole, the Enterprise is still the same distance from the mass. So it wouldn't get sucked in. I hope that makes sense. I'm not a physicist, so I'm not good at explaining that stuff.
You just play one on TV.
Okay.
Yeah, I assume you were talking about how they were getting away from Vulcan.
If red matter could create a black hole out of Vulcan, there would be huge amounts of Hawking radiation blasted the Enterprise away, at least in theory. Not necessarily. You're assuming that there would be a surge of Hawking radiation. That's not necessarily true. I mean, there would be Hawking radiation, but the amount of Hawking radiation will be dependent on the surface area of the event horizon, which in the case of a planet becoming a black hole would be very, very small.
Bigger.
All right, so moving onward.
Hey, we're finally over halfway through the movie.
Yeah, so the Enterprise leaves Vulcan, and Spock gives his really sad speech about now he's part of an endangered species. We get the big reveal that Spock and Uhura have been hooking up, which not really a surprise considering the scene earlier where she forced him to reassign her to the Enterprise. And then we get this scene where he's torturing Pike, and again, some pretty piss poor writing here.
Hey, good night, Mercer. Thanks for joining us,
Have
buddy.
a good one, Mercer.
Appreciate it.
So Nero explains that in his time, this was a simple mining vessel. I got to call total BS on that, because his time, based on what Spock says later, is about 12 years before Star Trek Picard.
Yeah. Yep, you were talking about, yep.
Right, and there's no way that a ship with this kind of firepower and all that is a simple mining vessel. Now, yes, in the Countdown comic books, they explain that the ship was augmented with Borg technology, but they skip over all that in the movies. And I'm sorry, but as much as people say, oh, the Countdown comic book is canon. Well, in that case, Data didn't die, remember? Or actually, B4 became a new Data in the Countdown.
That's Ariel. That's a hologram. That woman is not on the ship. So I hope you're just
I didn't see
being funny.
You didn't highlight
She's like,
the
who's the
comment.
female with Nero, and why is it the only female on the ship?
Yeah, that's Nero's wife, and and she was pregnant at the time that the homeworld was destroyed, and
And that's why he broke bad or whatever.
yeah,
You know.
basically Nero went crazy. It would have been so much better if they developed that a little bit, because Nero, one of the big complaints was Nero was an undeveloped villain, and he is, which is too bad because he's got a great backstory. If you read the Countdown comic book and you look at the deleted scenes, Nero's got a great story to him, but instead they were trying to tell a Kirk origin movie at the same time that they were trying to do the Nero story. I think this would have been better if you just started it with Kirk and crew on the Enterprise. Rather than go through the whole Starfleet Academy stuff, you just started out with Kirk and the crew. Like, you could even say it's their first mission together. Like, the Enterprise had just been refit after Captain Pike had been out there. And, but don't go through all the crap with the Academy and stuff. That was just stupid.
And I'm surprised nobody in the chat, at least Star Trek nerds, didn't bring it up. I brought up a ton of times. This is the maiden voyage of a new ship. Oh, so no Captain April's, and then this is the only mission this Pike ever has on the Enterprise.
Yeah.
Because for some reason he gets promoted to Admiral after this, and all he did was get tortured. That's not.
Well, but he
an
did
Admiral
give up.
wouldn't. An Admiral wouldn't get tortured. Admiral wouldn't have got caught.
Wow, you sound like Trump now. Losers get caught. So.
Hey, damn right, losers get caught.
But didn't Trump get caught? Isn't that why he's on trial right now? So sorry.
You're the one bringing Trump into it. I didn't.
I'm just saying. I just think that's funny. All right, so then Kirk picks a fight with Spock, and Spock, this is your favorite part, where he's like, "Get him off my ship."
It makes no effing sense, man. Oh my god.
Again, you forget. Zachary Quinto read the script, and he knows he has to send Kirk down so he can meet the other Spock.
This movie is so bad.
So Kirk goes down to Delta Vega, and sees scary monsters.
Sure, it's not Hoth.
It's I think it's a little bit of Hoth too. He sees scary monsters, but then old man Spock chases the monsters away with a torch. And he's like, "James T. Kirk," and it's like, huh? How are you recognizing him when he doesn't look anything like Kirk?
What this guy says, Professor Brainy Specs.
Yes.
This is a smart individual.
I didn't say he wasn't smart.
This
Professor
movie
Brady
is
Specs.
horrible. This movie
Professor
is a
Brady
dumpster fire.
Specs is very smart. Just so you know, he and I go way back. We
Yeah.
fight a lot, but we go way back. And
Well, read that. What's that say?
this movie is horrible.
You heard it from Salty, from Salty's lips to your ears. This movie is horrible.
Anyway, so then Spock mind melds with Kirk to fill him in on the backstory. And this would have been a perfect time right here during this mind meld sequence to flesh out Nero's character. But we don't. We just, in the very briefest way, just say, oh yeah, there was a supernova that was going to destroy the galaxy, which makes no sense. And I was going to throw some red matter at it that was going to absorb it. And I wasn't fast enough to save Romulus.
So look at this question. You know why they do? They put a line on dialogue in there, but it's still not a good enough answer because Nero wants Spock to watch.
Yeah, he wants him to see the destruction of his his homeworld, which he could have done from the Narada.
Yeah, and then after he sees it, has the satisfaction of killing Spock after he's what you know,
Right.
like that would have been way more evil.
Right.
Like just hold his face up to like a window, look at it,
But you
look at
see-
it, and then when
but
he
you see,
cries,
just
and
like-
he
but-
breaks, and then he just blows his brains out.
But
There
that's
you
the
go.
thing. You're forgetting what Nero and Spock have in common.
What's that?
They read the script, and so he knows he has to leave him on there so he can meet Kirk.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, who knows, Ariel? It's like an ice moon or something. I don't know. It had to be close enough to see the.
well, that's the stupid thing. Delta Vega is in the original series. It's where they were going to strand Gary Mitchell.
Oh, okay.
Because there's
So
an
it's close enough to Vulcan to where you can see
No,
Vulcan?
that's the
Okay.
dumb thing. It's nowhere near Vulcan. And
But
so,
they show in the mind meld, they show Prime Spock looking up at the sky.
I know,
and
dude.
seeing the. Oh, okay.
because somehow the universe rearranged itself because the Narada attacked the Kelvin.
Oh, see, and Professor Brainy Specs is echoing my same
Mm-hmm.
question here. Yeah, I knew I liked this guy.
Yeah. See, what happened was Delta. Have you seen the three body problem?
No, I haven't.
Have you heard of it?
I mean, I've seen like, no, I mean, I don't know anything about it. I haven't seen a trailer. Haven't listened to, I've seen people are talking about it. That's
Yeah.
the extent,
The three body problem is an actual mathematical thing, apparently, because, most solar systems actually have 3 stars in them. That's the most common configuration.
Okay.
And the problem is having a stable orbit if you're a planet in a 3-starred solar system. That's the 3-body problem. You can't calculate an exact orbit for planets in a tri-star system.
So what happens if these really exist, or do they? You're saying they exist.
Well,
so-
in the story, there's an alien race that lives on a planet in the 3-star system, and every so often, their entire civilization gets wiped out because of climate change.
Well, what does Neil deGrasse Tyson say about it?
I don't know. I haven't watched his video on it yet. I've been meaning to, but because I'm going to wait till I finish season 1 of the show because he might give spoilers.
Okay.
But I'm sitting there thinking that maybe Vulcan is in a 3-star system with Delta Vega, and they just both happen to be really close to each other right now. But normally they're way far apart. I don't know. I'm reaching, but that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah.
And of course, Vulcan is super hot and Delta Vega is super cold, but they're so close to each other that they look like one's a
Right.
moon of the other.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
So then we find out that they go into a black hole that was created to stop the supernova and somehow appear in the past. And that's why
It seems like they're confusing or mixing up a black hole with a wormhole to me. Because the traveling through time and space feels more like a wormhole than it does a black hole.
you're forgetting bad writing.
Okay.
Remember in movies, if you go into a black hole, you're not just going to be crushed by the gravity, you're going to go somewhere else because bad writing.
Okay.
And so, then this is where Spock gets to look up and, then he breaks the mind meld. And now I will say this. I liked Leonard Nimoy's performance when he talks about Starfleet Order 169 to
619
or 619. Thank you. That if the captain is emotionally compromised, then he has to relinquish command. And when Kirk is like, "Well, how do I compromise him?" And he's like, I just saw my entire planet destroyed. Everybody's dead. Believe me, I am emotionally compromised. And the look on Leonard Nimoy's face there was really good.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, those moments in this movie are few and far in between. And so then Spock and Kirk go to what looks like a high school gymnasium and run into an Oompa Loompa. who's made out of lettuce, apparently.
Something. I don't know. Yeah.
So lettuce, Oompa Loompa. And of course, by the way, you know that is Deep Roy, who plays the Oompa Loompas in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie. Did you know that?
What?
He is literally the Oompa Loompas in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
No, he's not.
He absolutely is. Not the original, the Johnny Depp one.
Oh, I haven't.
Yeah, but the same actor that is that walking head of lettuce there, is the Oompa Loompas in that
Okay.
movie.
But Planet X here, I have to say, I agree with you, buddy. Wow. But Salty's got a theory on that.
Yes, but Thomas might be around. Although he hasn't posted anything in a while. I think he got really pissed that he thought I was ignoring him. I hope not.
Possibly.
I like Thomas. But anyway, but the triple timeline theory does explain a lot of this away.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Just like the Nexus Fever Dream theory,
Yeah, explains all the next gen movies.
Yeah.
So then we get the worst casting in the history of Star Trek, Simon Pegg as.
I still say it's Winona Ryder as Amanda. At least this guy's Scottish,
He's not, though.
What is he, Irish? I thought he was Scottish.
No, I think he's English.
Is he English? I thought he was Scottish. Oh, well, whatever.
Anyway, Simon Pegg, but yeah, they could have found someone more like Scotty, and they turned Scotty into just straight up comic relief.
You're right. He's English. Yep.
Which I don't like. Scotty should not just be plain old comic relief. Yes, sometimes Scotty was comic relief character, but usually he was just the grumpy engineer. And in this, he's just like played for laughs, and it's like, again, they do stuff like, oh, look, he has a pet tribble. Isn't that funny?
Super chat.
And Planet X says, live long and prosper. Thank you so much, Planet X.
Peace and long life.
If you're leaving, which I hope you're not, but if you are, yes, live long and prosper. Or, as they say, because it's super hot on Vulcan, live long and perspire. Because, yeah.
Man, it's starting to get hot here in Vegas. It's like too soon for this.
Well, you live in a freaking desert.
Yeah, I know. I got at least 5.5 months of heat to look forward to now.
So then Spock, when thinking about the temporal prime directive, says, F it, gives Scotty a formula that he would supposedly come up with later that allows for transwarp beaming, which is supposedly beaming to something that's traveling at warp.
How irresponsible is Spock? Given this technology
Right.
decades before he's supposed to have it, like that's not going to change the future at all.
No, not at all. Right. And by the way, not only that, but and then Spock has the gall to sit there and say, "Oh, and I'm not going to go with you because you need to go meet other Spock and convince him." And it's like, wait a minute. If you came with Kirk, there would be no big physical altercation between Spock and Kirk.
Damn, like that chick's gonna have a bad back. That thumbnail is just too much. My God.
Yeah, it really is. That is just insane. Yeah. Anyway, you know what I'm saying though about Spock? He's being a complete dickhead here. Because,
yeah.
And later he's like, I didn't want to deny you of a relationship. Dude, the universe is at stake here.
Yeah. It's,
you don't have time to play games about, you want them to have good friendship time.
Yeah, I mean.
So then they beam to the Enterprise, but Scotty ends up in the water tank. And for some reason, they have a maze of water pipes.
Super chat.
Yes, is transwarp really warp, or does it just identify? Well, you're confusing transwarp with non-binary warp.
That's funny.
Yeah, transwarp is just like regular warp, except with a wig and wearing a dress. I think, as opposed to non-binary warp, which is warp where you don't really know where you're going to end up going.
Like, is this also because Alex is bringing up the
Yes,
the
this
brewery?
this
is also the brewery. This
this
year?
is also filmed in the brewery, although the water pipes are CG.
Okay.
They're not really there.
Okay.
But everything else that you see is just he's running around in the brewery. Budweiser specifically. And so and look, wacky times as Kirk gets Scotty out of the water pipes. Yeah, and I know you were laughing hysterically, right?
It's just stupid. And like he would have drowned, or you said that fluid was probably like antifreeze, but he has his eyes open.
Well, they said it was water, but still
coughing up a bunch of what does this ship need with that water, and why is it in that configuration? And
it makes no sense. Is that the toilet system? I mean,
oh god, yeah.
So then Berto Prey 5 arrests him. And I know his name is Cupcake, but and then they bring him to the bridge, and Kirk basically says a "Yo Mama" joke, which, as you can see, works very well. So Spock's answer is to just beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, it's not very Spock-like.
Oh, come on, look at that. That looks like something Spock would do, right?
No.
It sure is a good thing that Prime Spock didn't go with Kirk, because then this might not have happened.
Right.
But yeah, so Spock chokes out Kirk while everybody's watching, and finally his dad tells him to stop, and Spock relinquishes command. And then Kirk takes over.
Which none of this makes sense.
Yeah. Kirk takes over because he was the new first officer. Which, like, really? That's okay, whatever.
Yeah.
So now Kirk takes command, and Spock talks to Sarek. Another great moment with Ben Cross, where he says, I married your mother because I loved her. That was a hard confession for him to make. Mm-hmm. But, I think that it needed to be made to him because Spock needed to understand that sometimes your emotions are just your emotions. And meanwhile, Nero is just glaring, but, why not? And the Enterprise is warping, and everybody's happy. So then the Enterprise goes to Saturn, and really cool shot.
Why is it acting like there's atmosphere in space?
Well, so that we could get a really cool shot. Remember, they say they warp into the atmosphere of Titan in order to hide from Nero, and then the Enterprise is lifting out. But it's like that's not, the atmosphere isn't like a lake over space.
It's just it's not how it works.
Yeah, it just looks cool.
Okay, ABJ, even if they are in the rings, that's not how that would go.
They're not in the rings. You can see the rings behind the Enterprise.
Right, but even if, but yeah, they're not.
Yeah. And if they were in the rings, there would be little chunks.
Yeah, because the rings are just like, isn't it just like orbiting debris, basically, like we're about to have here with Earth? Just
they basically say that like the rings are probably a smashed former moon or something.
Yeah.
So the rings are not gas. So then Kirk and Spock are going to beam over and fight the Romulans. Pew pew pew.
They have like zero chemistry. You guys really got to watch the watch long. We dive deep.
And in this fight, remember, Kirk and Spock are killing everybody.
Yeah.
Until Kirk switches to stun.
I don't know why.
So they can switch to get one to interrogate.
Yeah. So when I read this in my mind, I heard it like fog in space. Like
Like pigs
Anyway.
in space.
anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So after Kirk stuns the guy, he then, holds the phaser up for everybody to see as he switches it back to kill, and it's like, really? You're just on a murder spree.
Ooh, speaking of murder spree, you watch X-Men yet?
No, not yet.
Okay, I won't say anything. Go ahead. Carry on.
Well, you're not supposed to say anything. That's for tomorrow night's live stream.
Oh, I can't wait. It was so good. I'm probably gonna watch it again.
Well, good. Don't forget to watch Discovery, though.
No, I won't. Yeah.
So then Kirk and Spock are, finding out information. Meanwhile, all the Starfleet cadets are like, oh, check it out. Earth is being killed. Let's all just point and stare.
So it's like San Francisco, the center of Earth or something. I don't understand why.
Well, San Francisco is where Starfleet headquarters is. However, the actual capital of Earth is Paris.
Shouldn't they be blowing up Paris?
You would think if that's what he was trying to make a symbol out of it, you would think so. But I guess not.
Well, he's trying to destroy the planet, so I guess it really doesn't matter.
And by the way, how much red matter would you estimate that is?
Wouldn't it be funny if that was like a perspective shot and it's just one of those balls from like a bounce house with a ball pit?
But even so, I'm just saying, like, that's got to be what, a couple 100 gallons?
I don't know. It's a lot.
But they take out a syringe, and like one tiny little speck of it is enough to destroy a planet.
It's like 7-8 feet in diameter or circumference or whatever.
So it makes no sense. Why do they have that much red matter? I mean, with that amount of red matter, that's enough to wipe out every planet in the galaxy. It just doesn't make sense.
Makes no sense.
Yes. So, and also Spock is like suspicious about the ship because it has a Han Solo cockpit and it recognizes Spock as ambassador.
I know,
Spock.
like what there's so much. It's like it's off the charts. How this was basically an audition. JJ used this movie as a Star Wars audition.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's disgusting what he did to Star Trek.
And so then Kirk faces off with Nero briefly. And Nero actually gives an interesting little speech that I think is 100% true, which is that I remember you from history, and James T. Kirk was a great man who went on to be captain of the Enterprise. I'm going to take that from you. And the funny thing is that, well, it's true. In the prime timeline, Kirk was a great man. In this timeline, he's not. And you can see, look, again, same face as before. This is what Chris Pine looks like. Everybody doesn't understand it's digital trickery that he looks good in some shots. Anyway, and so then Spock destroys the drill, which pisses off Nero, and he decides to kill Spock.
Well, isn't that where Kirk shot him? Yeah, that's where he says, "I got your."
Yeah,
no, that's the other guy.
Yeah,
that's the other guy.
That was his first option, which I did like that moment. You can't even speak. What? I got your gun. That was a Kirk moment right there. I like that.
Yeah.
So he finds Pike. They beam Spock and Kirk and Pike back to the Enterprise.
Look at this. This Jamoke gets an admiral promotion out of this. Come on.
Yeah. Well, Starfleet likes to fail people upwards.
I guess so.
And so and then we get the worst thing, and this is what really.
Since I agree, easily number one of season 5, but it was. I
really liked last week's Discovery.
Yeah, not including Picard season 3. That's the best Star Trek episode I've seen from New Trek.
This is why Danny is an idiot. Okay, yeah. Picard season 3 sucked balls.
Oh, it's so good.
However,
so good.
Strange New Worlds has done some really good stuff. So, okay. Danny's like off his rocker.
Okay.
Anyway, So when when Kirk is like, oh, we'll help you out, and Nero's like,
Oh, we've established that your ship's going to be destroyed by this thing. If you don't let us help you, I would rather die. Okay, and instead of just flying off and saving their ammunition and doing more important shit,
yeah, it's like fire everything at him.
why?
Yeah. And it's like, so Kirk, you're just a dick.
Yeah.
These guys are literally dying, and you just
Okay,
wanna...
Jeremy. Okay, because he never broke. That's why he was perhaps maybe that was a reward. I mean, that could be. It could be. Again, is that how they? I've never in the military. Is that how they do it?
No, because he did break, because Nero was trying to get the defense information on Earth so he could get past their defenses, and they clearly worked.
Well, he did cheat. He put that little bug in him, a la Wrath of Khan. Although it looked more like the thing from Conspiracy.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. Just blue instead, or whatever.
So yeah, then we get this: the Enterprise trying to get away from the singularity being created by the jellyfish crash, and they eject the warp core, which he says warp core singular, but they eject
But look,
5 cores.
I thought it was like 3.
Yeah. Cool effect, though. I mean, I'll give him that. Whoops. How did that happen?
You started it all over. Come on, man.
Well, yep, we got to start all over again.
Oh, hell no.
All right, there we go. So the Enterprise manages to get away by jettisoning the warp core. Kirk does some more drugs. Kirk does a lot of drugs in this movie, I'm pretty sure. And
It's in all caps, so it must be true. She's hot.
And they stole that from Treasure. I haven't seen Treasure Planet in a long time. And then Spock meets Spock, and nobody talks about the fact that one Spock is several inches shorter than the other. But hey, that's
There's so much wrong with this.
Yeah. There we go. There's a pause. But unfortunately, the Spock conversation is just as insulting as the Kirk Spock conversation, because as much as I love Leonard Nimoy, man, it was like that whole thing about, oh well, I told him the universe would end if
No, he inferred
Yeah.
that world-ending paradox would occur.
No,
or something
Kirk
like that.
inferred, he implied.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
And I know when you get old, some people shrink, not everybody. Like I haven't shrank. I'm still the same height I was when I was 20.
Sadly, that's crazy. No, I have shrank. I shrank.
Yeah. It just
about an
depends on
inch.
your makeup and what,
And if I ever have this neck surgery, I'll probably shrink even more, which sucks.
Well, by the time you're my age, you'll be like 3 feet tall. But yeah, so he implies that there'd be universe-ending consequences if the two Spocks met, but that would have been it made no sense. It just made zero sense. It was illogical for Spock to not go, because the stakes were more important than their friendship.
Yeah, 100%.
And yet that was his only reason, was that he wanted them to be able to explore their own friendship together. Dude, he's going to kill Earth.
Yeah.
And so then they say he's now Captain James T. Kirk, because no reason whatsoever. He's not even an Academy graduate. He was suspended. He's stowed away on a starship, but because he managed to kill Nero, they just go straight to promoting him to captain.
God, this movie is so bad.
I could see them giving him a commendation for it. I absolutely could, but I could not see them saying
He was supposed to get the accommodation for original thinking.
Right, but that's fine. If they want to give him a commendation for what he did, I'm totally on board. In fact, they could even give him some kind of real medal, not just a commendation, but like Medal of Honor or whatever. because he did save Earth. However, it would then be, and now you can finish the academy so that you can become Ensign Kirk and work your way up. Not just, oh, well, since Pike made you first officer and then you took the captaincy from Spock, so we're just going to leave you as captain. What?
Yeah, yeah.
Kirk was just acting captain. He didn't actually hold the rank of captain. So anyway, and then she takes over the Enterprise and slaps everybody.
Yeah. And let's just go and please. Thank God it's over.
Written by Orsi and Kurtzman.
All right. Final thoughts and score. What's yours?
Okay. Despite despite my ragging on it, there are elements of the movie I did really enjoy. As a movie, I think this is probably the best movie that has the Star Trek name on it since Star Trek 6. That being said, just like the TNG movies that I get so upset about, the characters were all wrong. And so I can't give it a good grade primarily because of that. So I would say that maybe I'd give it a 6.
Holy shit.
And the reason is because I do think it's entertaining. I can't go below a 5 because I do find it entertaining. I don't regret watching it like I do with some of the TNG movies. Like the TNG movies just rub me the wrong way all the way through. But this, I can at least say, hey, it's an alternate reality.
All right, cool. I'm going to be short and sweet because we've been subjecting these awesome people watching us. We're still over 30 somehow, even though I was shooting out all the
You don't need to shut up.
All right. This movie is a dumpster fire. It's an insult to Star Trek and Star Trek fans. It's pure and utter shit, and I'm being generous, giving it a 2 out of 10. So that's my score, and I'm sticking to it. 2 out of 10. 2 turds out of 10.
So Danny's going to react emotionally as usual.
It's a terrible fucking movie. It's terrible. Star Trek in name only. They shouldn't have called it Star Trek. This was J.J. Abrams.
And yet, this guy likes movies like First Contact, which is just.
I did like First Contact. No, it's not.
Yes, it absolutely is.
Yeah.
You even agreed with me on most of the points while we were watching.
Look at this. Thank you, Dork. You're welcome. I'm just saying what everybody's thinking.
Well, you know what? That's why it's called Nerd Fights. I understand that.
Oh my God, Daniel's Hot Topics. This is amazing. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I wouldn't go there, Daniel. Amazing, I would be giving it like an 8 or a 9, but no, this was not an amazing movie.
See, we're on the same wavelength, this guy and I. Yeah, it was a very good movie.
Yeah. Professor Brainspix and I have disagreed wholeheartedly on this stuff.
Okay. Well, look, so I got you. I could clip out the earlier. You said this was a horrible.
I read the comment that said that. Yes.
All right. So what do you really think again?